Recording, and we are live now.
Well, hey. Good morning.
Buenos dias.
All right, let's do some breathing exercises, guys. Ready?
Keep it chill.
Breathing exercises.
Breathe in.
Just be calm. Start your day off.
Breathe out.
Proper breathing.
You're following along, chat. Breathe in. Breathe out.
Early morning Lamaze classes for everybody.
I love it. That's not even on a starting screen.
Oh, because of your face.
That's why I was talking. We're live.
Oh.
Nobody. Yeah. We're fine. We got it covered, man. It's all good.
Yeah. We're professionals now. Right? We agree we're all professionals here.
Oh, you did that. Okay.
I did what?
Sent yourself that link.
Yeah. So I can. It's like you don't have the copy paste.
Oh, true.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, I forgot it doesn't work because for some reason when you copy and paste from Messenger, it like puts this random code to it because they put trackers on all the copy and paste features.
For real?
Which is whack.
No.
What?
Yeah, so like I copied and pasted a link in Messenger so I could copy and paste it and put it into OBS, but it adds in like where you can copy it and paste it from. So like it'll include all of it, which messes up the whole link. I don't know if that made any sense, but
may I suggest using Discord for that linking from phone to computer?
Well, yeah, that's what I do, but this is for the pop-up chat, the little fancy little setup. Anyways, the point is I forgot my laptop. I'm an idiot. I'm using Eric's, so his laptop isn't connected to my server. So because you can't do that unless you log in with my account. Then I have to log him out. Anyways, bunch of bullshit.
Bunch of hui.
And welcome to the GAIJIN GUYS Podcast. We talk about Japanese music news and other music-related things. This is the podcast where we talk about other music-related things. By the way, we're teamed up with Aftershock 2023. Turn in your story if you want to win 2 4-day passes for this festival. Do it now because time's ticking. You only have like 2 weeks to submit it. You need to do it by September 8th. We're going to read it live on this podcast on September 10th, Sunday. And send in your heartwarming story, you know, how you connected with the band. So I got you through some rough times.
Where do you write that out? GAIJIN Guys?
At giveaway at gaijinguys.com.
There we go.
It's actually like a week now. So we're really coming down on the end of the road here for submitting those.
I love how Paul Ross just comes in here with a, hey guys, so y'all voting for Trump? What's the deal? That's so random.
It's a bad way to start any conversation.
That's not,
especially podcasts. This is going to get half of us canceled by half of everybody else.
We're going to stay away
from
Can
you vote for someone when they're in prison? I didn't think you could. Of course, I'm trying to change that.
Can never avoid politics anyway.
Okay, let's avoid like the political parts of it, but I want to talk about that. Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious if you like won while in prison?
It'd be insane, but it doesn't feel like something that would be like like I feel like we've seen more insane things.
What's funny to me is there's precedents that used to be super important for this country, and now they're being thrown out the window just because.
Like what?
Wait, what?
Oh, well, you're not supposed to be able to vote for somebody if they've been investigated for felony, convicted, and all that shit. And
oh, is that true? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even know that was a rule.
Well, you can't vote either if you've been. I mean, I guess if you've been convicted of a felony, you can't vote either. So,
oh, really?
Vote.
Yeah. See, this is stuff they need to teach us in school, or maybe they did teach us. I don't remember.
Well, they probably did.
No, they did not. That would be nonsense.
Just because you don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
But
in what class would they have taught us this stuff?
Government and economics, maybe?
I didn't have that
we
class.
didn't have government economics.
Oh, sorry. I went to
What the fuck?
Midwestern school, not Jewish school.
I teach you that.
Yeah,
senior
dude,
year.
I had like 4 years of the same 4 classes over and over again. How many times did you take fucking history, bro?
I was avoiding getting stabbed.
Every year. Right.
We had like fucking knife fights like every other week in Henry High School in Syracuse, New York. So it was
bro.
I didn't have to worry about that. Yeah.
yeah, good old public school.
I mean, I went to public school too, but we didn't have knifings every week. What?
Yeah,
Syracuse?
Yeah, Syracuse.
I didn't realize.
It got worse later on. Like, luckily, my daughter wasn't there too long, but yeah, she told me like there'd be fights all the time. There was a moment where I remember one time. Normally, guys, if you're not caught up in the bullshit, normally you just watch a bunch of bullshit happen, right? So I remember just be walking, all of a sudden, just like a 7-person fight outside of the lunch hall just starts, and there's just people just swinging fists everywhere, just massive amount of people just punching each other in the face, and there's like this one little cop, like trying to break all this up. And I'm like, Jesus. I just like walk away.
No wonder you like the mosh pit so much.
Yeah, it's just like school
Get
days.
that anger, yeah. Just like it reminds me of school, you know. It reminds me of
right. Was your high school like this? Is this a normal experience, or maybe mine was too tame?
My high school had 1,000 people in it.
Oh wow!
Like the whole school.
Whoa!
Oh shit!
200 people in my graduating class, and I mean, there were fights, but it was usually pretty low key. This guy fights that guy.
Yeah, we got some of those over at my school,
but nothing on any grand scale.
Yeah,
nothing with weaponry. Well, nothing with non-blunt weaponry.
Not really. The only time, like, occasionally, like there'd be a knife or something, but it wasn't a big deal. But like now it's so popular to bring in weapons and use them on schools. Now there's like weapons because so the news makes sure everybody knows about it. So every kid's like, oh, if I bring weapons, I'll be fucking popular.
We had metal detectors before it was a big thing. Like,
right. Yeah. We still
like,
don't.
So
we still need to go up to high school, push a button. Yeah, I'm here to see so-and-so. Okay, come on in.
Yeah. No, we still like when I was in high school, yeah, we got screened. We go through metal detectors every single morning. Yeah, it was definitely a thing. Wow. So it was funny when they were like, oh, we're going to start putting metal detectors in school. I'm like, oh, that was already a thing when I was in school. Yeah. Like, I guess this is not the norm everywhere, every high school.
Nope.
No, I'm picturing like the schools from The Wire right now as you're explaining what happened there.
I remember one time I got jumped by 4 dudes for absolutely no fucking reason. I remember just like flailing my fists. They were trying to like steal my shit. And I just fucking went psychotic. I like took off my shirt. I was like, ah! I just started screaming. Like, grabbed my shit from them and just started like swinging. Because I had a skateboard. So that's exactly why I carried my skateboard. Not only did I skate, but I used it as a defense weapon.
Yeah.
They never fucked with me again. They're like, oh, that's the guy that like fucking just screams violently and just starts swinging.
Hell yeah, dude. They thought you were a psychopath.
Yeah.
That's the move in that situation. You just scared the shit out of them. They were like, this guy will do anything. Let's get the fuck away.
Right.
I always had the philosophy like, if you're about to get jumped, just strip down naked and chase after him. That's always gonna work.
Yeah, right.
Fucking bring it.
You're right. I'm here for it. You want some of this? Rips off pants. Like they're gone.
Yeah.
Let me give you some of this.
Is that the most? Whoa! Is that the most one-sided fight you've ever been in?
Yeah, that's happened to me twice. I've had a homeless guy jump me. He cut my bottom of my leg. Him, I smacked with my skateboard. He was outside the school too, which was great. He fucking I have stitches right here. He cut the inside of my leg. And fucking took my skateboard, like, wham! Bashed him in the head and fucking ran. I'm like, motherfucker.
So did you know how to ride the skateboard? Did you just like...
Oh, yeah, dude. I wanted to be a pro boarder. I want to be a pro skateboarder, but like one time my board got destroyed by a car because jackass just like ran it. I've had it stolen before. But yeah, there's There's one time I initiated a fight. I'll admit it. There was this because somebody had told me, you know, they're like, you gotta stick up for yourself. The next time someone makes fun of you, just punch them in the face. And I did that. That was a bad idea. That was really horrible. It was fucking. But you know, you're in a school where like people are just like fighting each other. You pretty much like, all right, well, fuck it. This guy's making fun of me, so I just like wham, and punch him in the face. I instantly regret it. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. But then he already started wailing on my head. I'm like, dude. And then we were at the counselor's office just laughing about it. I'm like, bro, I don't know what came over me. I was
another
like,
Tuesday, you know.
And we just laughed about it at the counselors. And then his name was Mr. Sweeney. Shout to him. He was like, all right, it seems like you guys are fine. Was that fight like something serious? I'm like, it was just stupid. He said some things. I punched him. He punched me back.
You just felt like you had to defend your honor in that situation.
Yeah,
like,
that's all it was. I just remember doing it. I just remember clocking him in the face, and I like instantly was like, what did I do?
I took it one step too far right there. I think. Yeah. Ryan, what's the craziest fight you've ever been in?
I haven't been in many.
Lucky.
I usually kind of headed them off. And I was like the crazy fucking art skater dude that nobody just talked to. I had my little clique of friends, and people thought I was nuts. I had long hair and drew like really weird fucking drawings all the time. So everybody thought I was kind of a little weird anyway.
You know, like we don't want to start anything with the guy. We have no idea what he's all about.
Right, that kind of thing. But there was I think junior high was probably the only time I went back and forth with a dude, and it's just like he'd get me in a headlock, I couldn't get out, so it stopped. He'd get me in a headlock, I couldn't get out, so it stopped. Like 2 or 3 days in a row. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get you in a headlock. I'm gonna rip your goddamn head off. So people are like, dude, does he fucking stop? You're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
But after that, he didn't mess with me anymore.
You got sometimes you got to do it, dude. Sometimes you just got to pull back. You can't just take it forever, you know.
Yeah.
One day you got to stand up and you got to be like, okay, well, if I don't stand up right now, people are gonna be doing this shit to me.
And I was a little skinny kid. I was like 100.
That's how I was.
Maybe
too.
150 pounds when I graduated. I was like 75 pounds in junior high.
Ryan, that's exactly how I was. Like 6 foot tall, but I was like 150 or something. So I was super
I was short too.
Yeah.
I was like a fucking runt, man.
Yeah.
There's skater, fucking little artsy fucking skater. It's like, yeah.
People just left you alone.
You don't skate by being a pussy. You gotta
That's
be tough
true.
to do.
You're
man.
taking falls every single time you go out there, especially while you're learning.
Sorry, I felt bad even saying that. It just sounded vulgar.
What, the P word?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like sometimes that slips out for me too, and I feel bad about it too. I've actually had a couple people tell me not to say that after I said it, so I try not to. But man, that was a part of my everyday vernacular for like 20 years, so it's so hard to get rid of.
Yeah,
I can't even. I was. Everyone called each other that. It doesn't matter who it was.
Oh,
It doesn't matter who it was.
yeah, it was normal for me too. I just don't really
Yeah.
like the sound of it now. I skateboarded the other day. I took my board out and just rode around. I was like, man, I don't have to like try and do tricks. I can just ride. Better exercise than walking.
It's still fun. It's still fun to just hop on there and just glide around.
And now if I fall, I don't have to worry about, not making it to work. I can still sit in the stupid chair.
I only stopped because of guitar. Because one time I had a nasty fall and somehow I didn't break anything. I like somersaulted down a steep hill. And I was like, fuck, guitar or skateboarding? Like, which one am I going to do? And I'm like, well, guitar, I definitely have a better chance of doing something professionally. So it's like, fuck skateboarding. Yeah, hung it up.
For me, I just hit that point where I just said, okay, I this is not for me, because I tried so hard for like a year to just like, like every day I would skateboard for like an entire year and just try to do the most basic stuff, all right, I could ollie, all right, I could do a shove it, but no matter how much practice I put into it, dude, like I couldn't do the most basic shit, like kick flips and grinding on rails. Like no matter what, I just fucked it up. I'd fail 100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
So eventually I just had to accept that like this is not what I'm able to do.
I would literally just stand in the grass. I remember doing ollies. I spent like probably all fucking day just jumping in place. It probably looks so ridiculous to people because when you first try to do it, you're just like hopping off the board, but the board doesn't go with you, and you look like you're just a fucking idiot jumping on the board.
Yeah.
I remember like figuring out the mechanics of an ollie. Like, why does this work? Because I knew what people what their legs did, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, when you flip it up, you push it forward, it brings it back up. You just got to move your leg. And I was like, that's how it works. And once I figured out how it works, I was like, all right. I'm like, I did it. Showed my friends, like, here's how you ollie.
I used to
Are you a magician?
I used to mess with people when we would play skate, and everybody could do a fucking kickflip. That's the only thing I could not do for some
I
reason.
never fucking landed one, dude.
I could do a heel flip though, which was impossible for everyone. I don't know why, but I just understood how to kick my heel out and land it. So that's how I'd win like every single game, because nobody could do a fucking heel flip. So I would just get them with that all the time. Do a bunch of shove it, pop, shove it, nobody could land.
With like easy fucking curb tricks, just roll up to it, switch your feet, and roll back off. Just stupid shit, dude. Like, whoa, what the hell is that? Like 1980s, bro. Fucking check it out.
It's so true though. That still looks cool, bro. Somebody just riding in, hopping off the board, and touching the front of the board with their toe, and having it flip up into their hand. I don't care how long. That is a cool thing to do.
A boneless or an acid drop. What the hell is that? It's easy.
You just have to kick the front ups and grab it, and everybody will be happy.
Yeah.
Also, mentioned that Bandmate is currently being interviewed, recorded on Japanese nationwide TV news program. Nice. That is awesome.
Who's Bandmate?
Zero.
Because Bandmate is going. They're back in Japan or soon.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah, they're back in Japan.
Very cool.
Never heard of them.
Bandmate, pretty popular, man.
Are they?
Well, relatively speaking.
Relative to what?
In our world, they are very popular.
In our bubble.
In our bubble, they're extremely popular.
If you're not sequestered to the United States Billboard charts, which is what people are teased about.
If Bandmate's not on billboards, then they're not legit.
You're not.
True.
Because only legit bands are on the Billboard charts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Babymetal's on it, just saying.
Oh, he's trying to start a fight. He's trying to start it.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The bigger the gimmick, the more popular you are.
Oh! Bandmate has a pretty big gimmick, though.
They are gimmicky. they're really gimmicky.
Wait.
It's just,
I think
it's
the
just
better the
just
promotion.
baiting people.
Guys, we're fucking with you all, by the way. We're just joking around. Actually, Bandmate is on the Billboard charts.
No, that's just
under what?
But it's an interview. Bandmate share excitement over their upcoming U.S. tour and Unleash EP.
Hell yeah.
Japanese rockers Bandmate released new Domination video. So they've been mentioned on the Billboard. Look at. You know,
New Domination video. That's not exactly new.
I mean, but it was new at one point, Ryan.
Oh, you did a search. I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah, So when they do shit, they get noticed. That's
They
cool.
get mentioned. Yeah.
But is
Unleash
their music
EP?
on the charts? That's a real question.
No. Their music is not on the charts, but that's okay because most good music.
Why do you have to
not
bring it down? Why do you have to fucking ruin it, Eric?
Because I'm
why do you
that
have to bring
guy.
us
Because
down
I'm
to
that
earth?
guy. You've come to know this already.
You have to bring us down to earth like that.
So, guys,
Crusher
say you're
thing.
interested in heavy metal. Is there any good place to maybe search out some new heavy metal bands? Have you
GAIJIN Guys
found any
Podcast.
heavy metal bands from any surprising areas in the world?
I know.
No.
No.
Seriously?
I don't know
Yes,
what
you
you're,
all have. I know you
you're
have.
ramping up to right now, man. I feel like you want a specific answer, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to
I
do
know.
right now.
I know the answer to that fucking question. Yes, you have discovered metal bands from other countries.
Okay. Yes. Ryan.
Okay.
In fact.
Well, what is it about America that we don't seem as a country to be able to see these other countries and their music and how good it is? For instance, I put in metal in the search in the Billboard website, and what comes up is a Scott Ian interview, Anthrax metal guy, one of the big fucking four or whatever. Old. Rob Halford biography, very old. Judas Priest. Brantley Gilbert,
Who's that?
country artist, but he
Heavy
has
metal
some
country artist?
No. He
I
does have some hard rock elements in there. Babymetal, Matari,
Okay.
so that's good. Metallica, also old. Babymetal again.
I got
Bailey Zimmerman. Who
I
the
got
fuck's Bailey
Rush's
Zimmerman?
Geddy Lee visits the metal show.
Are you ready for the country metal sound? Rock's revival takes a rural route.
There you
And
go.
Black Sabbath. That's the first page. So
Okay.
old metal and country is what happens when you search up metal and baby
And
metal.
baby metal.
And baby metal. Yep.
So what does that tell us? What does that tell us about
That is
Billboard?
completely accurate.
That they're stuck in the
Bill-
past for sure. For sure.
Stuck in the past and unwilling to see the future, except for a very narrow scope.
Well, to be fair, you didn't put like the subgenres of metal, so
Oh, what should I put in?
Metal
Metalcore.
deathcore.
I mean-
Duh.
The only one that matters, right?
Yeah,
dude.
metalcore. Come on.
Hatebreed is cooking up something different with Just a Pasta.
Are
Totally
they still
relevant.
releasing stuff?
Fucking pasta brand from
Oh my
Jeez.
god. I got metal MTV2 Headbangers Ball Volume 2.
Dude, that show was legit.
And
I
Scott
found so
Ian,
many good
Rob
music
Halford.
from there.
Brantley Gilbert. What the fuck, man?
South by Southwest, Scott Ian again.
Suicide Silence.
So what do you think it is about baby metal then? Because like they got 2 mentions on the top page coming in here, right? And they seem to be like the only outlier in this whole
Now,
list.
I threw out a comment about gimmicks as just a bait to get
Mhm.
somebody to complain, but it's a fact, dude. They have a gimmick that spoke to millions of people outside of their country several years ago, and there's a lot of metal bands, namely Rob Halford, right? They're not Rob Halford, Rob Zombie, who praised them and had them open up for him, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Or at least mention them.
Rob
Well, he
Halpert
played
did a
with
song
them.
with them on stage with Baby
Okay.
Metal.
So I mean that's a huge thing, but I think what it was is, okay, here's this cool thing. They're Japanese, the music's cool. Let's feature them, and then they quickly lose interest because we know if you look into it a little more, you're going to find lots of stuff. But
Yeah, but I had to really
I think
search.
it's Rob Zombie, dude. He's known more for putting on a good show as opposed to writing really good music.
That's a really good point. I mean,
So it's a spectacle, right? And they're a spectacle to bring in, and it worked. And he praised them, right? Rightfully, the band's fucking amazing. But why didn't it go farther?
Brian,
It's too difficult to keep working at it.
to add what you said, I think most artists and bands in the U.S. is all about the show and spectacle more than the actual music writing.
Yeah. Well,
That's what it seems like in general. Like if you don't have a show attached to your music, it doesn't do as well. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some kind of show that happens. And it seems like it's taken more seriously than the actual musicianship or like the actual music. You know what I mean?
I think
Or
it has
like
to do
how
with the
technical it is.
imagery too, like how they're pushing the image. Because when they promote bands and stuff, they don't promote the music; they just promote the image of the band. Like
Yeah. Yeah, true.
so what happened when back in the day, I like to make fun of, I was just talking about how old music, it was like, it's old music and not old metal and not metal, right? For what I was bringing up when I searched out metal. But way back in the day, the radio and stuff was full of insane, just hugely talented musicians and engineers
Mhm.
and of artists that were incredible musicians. Were making the pop, easy to digestible music at the time. But if you listen to that music, it's fairly complex, some of it. And so what happened? Why did we go away from that and in favor of just
I think TV
Whatever
had a
the
lot to
fuck.
do with it. I think TV had a lot to do
TV.
with it. Yeah, because you're visually seeing everything with the music. That's why music videos took off the way it did with MTV
Right
and
on.
stuff. So now you have the coloration and everything. Because if you look at some of those old bands, you're like, oh, like if you
Yeah,
compare
what
them
the-
to what you see now, like where this all glamorized and stuff. So I've seen, I can't remember
you
what
could
it
be
was.
ugly and be famous is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. There's some guys you're just like, how the fuck did they get famous? Because it was purely judged off the music because it was just radio. You know.
Can
You
we
didn't
can we
really-
blame
Yeah.
Kiss for part of this? Like,
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they were
Absolutely.
straight up all performance based.
That's a
and
great point.
They had the makeup and they had the huge show and all that kind of crazy shit.
And they were
got
catchy
fucking
songs.
popular, man.
Dude,
Catchy
influenced some of
songs,
the
though.
best. Some of my favorite musicians were influenced by them, and I go back and listen to it. I'm like, oh.
To me, they're like the Blink 182 of rock music.
Oh,
Like,
God,
I-
here we go.
They're fine. Like they make catchy music, but like they are so gimmick heavy that I can't even get past the gimmick to actually take them that seriously as a band.
They had to go back to it, dude. Like, I mean, they did some time without the makeup, and it was okay, but they ended up eventually going back to it. That's how good their musicianship was.
People wanted the show. I mean, so what does that say about like people though, just wanting that show? Isn't
I think
that?
it's
I don't
a-
think it's
I think
necessarily a
it's-
bad thing.
It's not. People go to be entertained. Like, who cares what
Sure.
aspect
Yeah.
of it is that they're being entertained by? As long as they go to the shows, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I like a mix of both, a good show and good music. You know, for me it has to be both. Because sometimes
If
you
it's-
can have musicians that do good music, and you're just standing there watching them play their instruments and singing. It's amazing for the first 5 songs, but then you're like, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if they're just going to replicate what's already on the album, and it's like, okay, well, I could just listen to the album if you're just going to stand here and
Exactly.
play it exactly the same.
Because
That's why I always appreciate when bands like switch it up too. You know, add
like
new parts
Bandmade
and stuff
puts
like
on
that.
a show in between. You know, they put on an actual show, and that's on purpose because you need to have something. Otherwise, what's the point if you're just going to hear the exact songs? Of course, we're going to love it, right? But for me, short attention span, like after 5 songs, I'm like, all right, like I can hear these songs. But since they switch up their songs, add new intros, have like little bits in between, and like little fun moments, then it makes the experience so much better. You know, if Bandmade just went out there and just played the songs as they were off the album, over and over again, I'd be like, okay, like that's cool. That's cool, but why would I pay to go see that when I could just watch it on a video later? You know?
What about
Yeah,
just
I
like
totally
the
feel that.
progressive gent bands? Like, I feel like they kind of sacrifice the show a little bit just to make sure the music's on par.
And some of those shows are the most boring. The progressive gent shows, like, it's fun. Like the musicianship is fun for like the first 5 songs. You're like, all right, okay, I'm done. Because once you don't have anything catchy, for me, if there's like nothing to sing to, nothing catchy, nothing like to watch, it's like, all right, well, I already saw this. But maybe that's just me. That's my opinion on it.
They're actually.
Well, I mean,
seen one
it depends
live,
on like
so-
how into the band it gets too. You know, like if they're up there and they're just kind of like standing around and trying to be like very careful and stuff, it definitely will get boring. But if they're up there, even if they don't have like some kind of crazy stage performance with like fireworks and all kinds of crazy nonsense, if they're just up there and you could tell that they're super into it and like really just giving it their all, you know, running around the stage, head banging, you know, doing all that kind of just being a showman,
That's still putting
then
on
I
a show.
find
though.
myself more intrigued.
Yeah, but that's still putting on a show, and I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
I guess I'm
Yeah.
just we were talking about bands like Kiss and Babymetal who have like
Yeah.
these huge extravagant shows. So just in comparison, just the
Yeah.
smaller ones even that can't do stuff like that. As long as I could see them like them going crazy on stage, the individuals, then they'll suck me in.
for
Yeah,
sure.
because I think, yeah, exactly. For me, it doesn't matter what kind of showmanship. It doesn't matter how much production or level. What I agree with you, Champ. It has to be some kind of show, you know, some kind of like something added to it, you know. Because there's bands that I've liked that I've watched. I think All That Remains is a good example. I would probably not go watch live because like it was boring. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I thought it was a
whatever.
good show. I've seen it live
Yeah.
like 6 times.
It was a good show, but it was like they just stand there,
Mm.
and I'm like, whatever. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen them too, and it's pretty badass. As far as I remember, it's a pretty badass show.
The show that I saw.
Somebody mentioned Five Finger Death Punch in the chat, and that's a band I've seen live. They opened up for Killswitch Engage, and there's a pretty incredible show, dude. The dude knew how to like hold a crowd, and it was an entertaining show. I can't listen to them anymore just because it's a glorified cover band. That's all they put out anymore is covers, I think. And after the first album, I'm like, okay, but I'd probably see him live again, you know.
Killswitch was another band I saw live that I don't want to see again. I saw them at Aftershock
Seriously?
last year. Yeah, saw them at
Really?
Aftershock last
What
year.
the fuck,
I was like,
dude?
Yeah,
They're a
that's
great band live.
dude.
eh.
They just I wasn't there obviously, but have you guys noticed that there's the YouTube channel that's been putting up like these full concerts from Summer Breeze Festival that just happened. So they put up like an hour and 15-minute Kill Switch set and then an hour and 15-minute In Flames set. And I just was like, happened to be on YouTube right after they posted. So I like sat there for 2.5 hours and watched both sets for all the way from front to back. And the Kill Switch one was fucking awesome, bro.
Like Jesse, did they do
a
pretty good swath of their music?
Dude, the parts that were supposed to be Howard in the original versions of the songs, it was a flawless change over to Jesse. Jesse's parts, they sounded just like Howard, but with just like a little bit more grit on the end of it, you know?
Awesome.
And I was so happy by it. His screams were like, there was no point, Kill Switch, just there was no point where they did there was any flubbing. There was anything where I was like, oh, that was a little weird or a little off time or anything like that. His vocals were perfection.
I didn't say they were bad.
Cool.
It was just maybe it's just not my type of music. I just couldn't. I don't know. But I am also really, I don't like watching bands live in general. I don't like watching people play. So like for me, it has to be a certain kind of entertaining.
I love watching.
Really
I will stare at a guitar player for the whole show and not move. Just watching them play.
Dude, Ryan, you should go on and you should watch that In Flames, at least part of the In Flames concert, because I know you like them. And Anders, the singer, he did a totally different style for the majority of the show than what he normally does in Flames music. Yeah, it was like they wanted to be heavier or something for this show. So like everything was a little bit different for them. It was the best performance I've seen In Flames do in like 15 years.
Maybe if I knew the songs better with Kill Switch and is like actually knew the songs, maybe I would enjoy it more. But
I'm surprised you don't.
If you don't know the songs,
I never liked
a lot of that
kind
of
them.
Music.
I don't like the singing vocals as that much. Wasn't my thing. Yeah,
but you like All That Remains.
I liked them up to a certain extent. But there's there's a shift after Overcome. That's where I kind of fell out, you know. I liked All That Remains, but there's something to his tone of voice that I like. And it was just screaming when he first did the first two albums. There was only moments of clean vocals. And I think at that time, Kill Switch was coming out. They had way more cleans in it. And then I was so used to Avenged Sevenfold clean vocals. I like the uniqueness of his voice. And I didn't find it unique, the clean vocals from Kill Switch. I was just like, it's just not my thing. But I noticed there's a certain type of vocalist I just can't get into. And that's the 5-Finger Death Punch, Kill Switch. I just can't get into that style of vocals. It's just not my thing. Eric likes those style vocals.
Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to suss out what you mean by those vocals though, because like
I don't
they're pretty much the whole metalcore
completely
genre.
Different bands, Kill Switch and 5-Finger Death Punch, they're nothing alike.
The whole metalcore genre is like a split between screams.
I'm just saying those
like
are two examples of clean vocals I don't like. Those are two examples I do not like those style clean vocals.
Do you have a preference between the two Kill Switch singers, or do you not even like know?
I like the original one better than Howard. Howard one just is operatic sounding, I guess. I don't know.
It is operatic. Yes,
I
agree. I like Jesse's better too. I think a lot of us like Jesse's better too. But Jesse's back, so now Jesse does initially Howard's parts.
So when I watched Howard, I did watch it all the way through the concert. It was good, but maybe if I knew the songs, maybe I'd enjoy it better. But I just wasn't
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to enjoy like a concert, especially like an hour-long set, when you don't know the music. You know, you can be like impressed, but you can't get into it really.
Very true.
Metalhead's perspective. So if I figured Death Punch of Hellfest and they took a lot of shit from the crowd for being drunk on stage. Yeah, that's kind of what that's kind of, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
They're like old school rock star types. It seems like they want to be.
It's the singer mostly,
I did catch a thing.
But he's gone through rehab and stuff, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess maybe not as much as an idea as an addiction or a problem, which is.
So he got over that problem, Eric, you said? He went to rehab?
Yeah, he went to rehab twice. So those two times where he went, the band actually continued their tour. So like he like freaked out like midway through tour. And so they got a couple people to like fill in for him on vocals.
Wow.
It was like, yeah.
How would you feel about going to a 5-Finger Death Punch show and then you get a different vocalist?
It's funny, you know who they got to replace
him? How'd you feel being the singer and be
both Howard Jones and Phil from All That Remains?
Phil and Howard replaced him?
Yeah.
That'd be such a better show, dude.
I would rather see both
so much fucking better having those guys sing than fucking.
I like both of their vocals a lot. That's pretty crazy, man. Have you guys ever seen somebody? Have you ever seen like a band or an artist live where they just like got super fucked up on stage, or you could just tell that they were super fucked up, like ruin the show?
I saw Guns N' Roses, so probably.
I've ruined my own show by being fucked up.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Me too.
That's different.
That was pretty bad.
That's different.
I remember my first show, the first band I ever did shows with, an Endless Fight. The drummer bought a bottle of Jaeger, and we were playing for this insanely huge band, which I ended up playing for later in El Paso. They were like famous in El Paso, March of Kronos. And this is before I was like doing shred guitar, and I was just playing like bass, and we did Jaeger, and we're like the main act because an Endless Fight was like pretty well known in the punk scene here, but it was like a punk band with a metal band who was like phenomenal, like expert musicians, and they played before us and killed it. And then the drummer and I are like drunk off of Jaeger. The rhythm section's all fucked up. Philip, my friend Philip, he's on guitar. He was like looking over at us. He was so fucking pissed. So it was our first show. We completely flubbed it.
Oh my god,
it was pretty bad,
man. Those times
I fell off stage, dude. I fell off stage while we were doing that. I was like sitting there playing bass. I remember backing up and then boom! I just see me go flying out the stage. I was like 21, I think.
You guys made an impression. We can say that you made an impression on the audience.
You will remember that for sure,
dude. I remember like I got really fucked up one time, and I'm sitting there. We're playing our first song, and I just remember thinking like something sounds totally wrong here. I don't know what it is, and it wasn't until the end of the song that I realized that I was using my wrong guitar, which was tuned to a different tuning. So I was playing in a different tuning than the rest of the band for the entire first song.
How do you do that?
Dude.
Just imagine what that crowd was hearing at that moment.
It'd be horrible. I did that. We went from a drop D song to like Black Crowes Hard to Handle, and the song we did before I was in drop D, and I'm like, let's play fucking Hard to Handle because I love this song and playing the solo and shit. We start, and I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And it was me. I was still in drop D, but playing like regular chords.
Oh god,
which sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah, because you got one string out of tune.
Yeah, one string is the whole step down. What?
The worst, bro. The worst I've ever seen somebody fucked up at a show was I went to see Marilyn Manson live at PNC Bank Arts Center in New Jersey, and I've seen him 3 times. The first time that I saw him, it was like one of the best shows I ever went to. But the second time that I saw him, he was clearly messed up to the point where there was like this little kid and his dad like up in the front row, right? And Manson felt the need to like in the middle of the show start like screaming at the little kid that was in the front, and like I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but shit like, you know, you need to grow the fuck up, and when you get old enough you're gonna be sticking shit and blah 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 stuff that was a little vulgar, you know, which like, you know, it's a metal show, so it is what it is. But so the dad just like, hey man, he's like laughing along. He's like, hey, can you tone it down for a second? Right. And Manson just goes off on this dad, and he just starts like screaming at him, just like he's just like, and the crowd starts booing him too. This was a crazy ass experience now that I think about it. The crowd starts booing him while he's like in this battle with this like old not old, but like in comparison, like it might have been the kid's grandpa now that I think about it, because he was probably like 70 and the kid was like 8, right? So Manson just going back and forth, and the kid just starts breaking down at some point, just starts crying, and then the security came over and escorted the dad or the grandpa and the kid out or whatever, and you could just turn around and you could see just like half the crowd just get up and start walking out. And damn, it was crazy, dude. Like I couldn't believe I actually was seeing that happen. But yeah, that was the worst show that I've ever been to.
Yeah, I've never witnessed anything.
The Manson show?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a Manson show. It was like a 8-band festival or whatever, and Manson just happened to be like the headliner or the second to last headliner or something like that. But yeah, it was weird that there was like a kid there in the first place, because like I wouldn't bring my 8-year-old to like a metal festival in general. But still, it was surprising to see Manson just kind of like lose it on like a little kid, you know. I was like, and I was a really big fan of Manson too. It kind of like ruined him a little bit for me going forward.
Yeah,
that sucks, man.
Speaking of something you said right now, like bringing children to metal shows, like what's the appropriate age, I guess, to like bring a kid to a show. Because there's an article about a lady who actually brought her 10-month-old baby to Download Festival, and people were like going off on her, but like in her eyes, like there was a bunch of like stuff for the kid, and she took all the right steps in order to bring the kid to the show. So like, you know,
yeah, is there maybe that's the cutoff?
If the kid's safe and he got hearing protection on him, I guess. I mean, there's no harm in hearing the music, I don't think, but it's
everyone at a show should have hearing protection, period.
Yeah.
All right?
Sure. Dude, why do they have
right
to be
now.
so fucking loud? What the hell? I know
the whole room
like
can
forever.
hear
because
What the
everyone's
fuck?
deaf now, and that's the only way
It
you can
sounds
hear
like
them.
shit. It doesn't sound good. It can't sound good. I mean, I don't understand that. I understand being loud. Everybody can hear it. It's an experience, but I've been to enough shows to where some of them sound good and some just sound absolutely like shit. And somebody has to know who's in charge of something.
It's so you can feel it, Ryan. You need to feel the sound.
I don't want to feel it. I want to fucking hear it.
Don't you want to feel that bass thumping you in the chest?
You can do both. But when
I don't know,
bass,
man.
I just can't. Like every time I've had ear protection in, I can't. It just
sounds
sounds too muffled to me. I can't get the full
you're
effect of the
screwed
show.
now.
So
Well, but you're screwed now. It's too late for you. You could have prevented that with better earplugs in the beginning. But since you started doing it, now you have permanent tinnitus in your ears. So
that
I
fucking
mean-
sucks.
yeah, but I can still hear frequencies without earplugs. When you put them in, and all you hear is it doesn't lower the bass. All you hear is fucking bass. You can't hear anything else.
those are the
It
shitty
just
earplugs.
sounds like shit. I've tried fucking $50 earplugs and fucking phone plugs. They all do the same shit, man.
Yeah.
Or it's just
You
it's
might-
just, it
you might
narrows
be
the
deaf
frequency, so
already.
it just irritates me.
Normally, if it's doing it with any earplug, that means your hearing already fucking went. That's normally what that means. Because the ear racers are good where they actually lower and you feel everything. But you're right. When you put in regular earplugs, it's just bass. And it's horrible. Because that's all you feel is fucking bass. But normally with those ones that actually do the reduction of sound, it should be an even thing. And if it's not, that means you probably already lost part of your hearing. That's what sucks. That's how you know.
Bro, I don't know. That's one of those things I was willing, like, at least at like 18 years old, I was definitely willing to sacrifice whatever potential.
Because we
problems
wore
I would
shitty
have with my ears.
earplugs when we were younger. That's why.
I didn't wear
Didn't
earplugs at
wear
all, bro.
earplugs.
Like I've never worn an earplug.
I
at a show in my
remember
life.
trying to put an earplug. I'm like, oh, this hurts. And I'm like, I put in regular ones. I'm like, oh, this sounds horrible. Like, because of what Ryan was saying. It was like, oh, it's all like, wah, 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 wah. I'm like, this is trash. But then,
Dude, I think
but back
even-
then we didn't know about like this other technology because it was like $300 for those back then. Now it's like $50, but back then it was like way more expensive to get like the fancy ones or whatever that musicians use on stage. I didn't learn about that until later. Luckily, I learned in time because I had a slight penetration in the eardrum because one of my friends decided to fucking scream in an amp while my head was there and fucking actually like damaged my eardrum. Luckily, it healed. I found out when I joined the military. They were like, well, one, they were like, you have lopsided eardrums, and second, you have like a tiny hole, but it looks like it's healing. And I'm like, great. So that's why I started doing earplugs. I was like, all right, I need to figure out a solution. Like, because if I want to do music and mix and stuff, I need to make sure the shit's taken care of.
Yeah, and then I guess that's the smart thing to do. Even with all my knowledge, if you sent me back to 18 years old and said, "Hey, listen, we have these $50
No, if I
earplugs
gave
to
you
put in,"
these earplugs, you'd be fine, champ. You'd be like, oh
I'm
wow,
not
this is
putting them
so
in.
cool. It's like turning down the volume.
it's just I don't want. I would have never wanted to do that.
I knew I did damage when I was randomly playing guitar, and I decided to sit like facing the other way as usual, like I did for like 30 years with the amp on the right. I
Yeah.
turned around. I'm like, wow, that sounds really fucking weird. Oh shit. Oh no. It sounds different when I turn my head.
Oh, Jesus.
Decades of listening to the amp on the right side. That's just how I sat in the room, you know,
Mhm.
with the band. The amp's always to the right.
Oh,
I turned
okay.
around to like get a strap or something. I'm like, whoa, what? What'd I change? Oh, nothing. I just turned my freaking head around.
That sucks.
Would you do band practices without ear protection?
Yeah, dude. Fucking-
I did in
Oh,
I did in the
shit.
beginning, but then I quickly started wearing earplugs, and I just dealt with the horrible sound until I figured out there's other earplugs out there. I was like, oh shit! And then once I
Yeah.
switched, I can't use regular
Yeah,
ones anymore. It sucks because it ruins music. I had to do it at one of the
What-
bandmade shows, and it was awful. I was like, this is horrible.
when I learned what tinnitus was, I was like, oh, that's what that ring's been in my head since high school.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what I just thought that how I just thought when it was quiet, people had ringing in their ears. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eric
man.
has it bad.
Tinnitus. Oh.
Do
I
you
can't
still
sleep
have it,
without
Ryan?
A fan.
Oh
I
yeah.
need some
it's-
kind of ambient noise.
Dude, I must have just gotten lucky then because we used to have like the band practices would be in like tiny little rooms and we were using our like full stacks and cabs. You know what I
Jesus.
mean? Like, so I was like 5 feet tops away from my cab like all the time
Yeah.
and playing at a full volume because we had to go for the drums in these tiny rooms. And I don't know, man. Like,
I guess you
even
got lucky.
again, like putting in, I must have gotten lucky because like putting in earplugs, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think that there is
Well,
anything that could convince me
there's
to do that.
There's a condition, like I was saying, lopsided eardrums that can actually protect you in loud circumstances. I think this is how I got lucky. And, like the only time I only got penetrated was during that one time I was in front of the amp because I did play without earplugs for like probably 2 years. And then once I found that out in the military, but lopsided eardrums, it kind of protects it and gives it's some kind of, they say it like muffles it out or whatnot. It just means they're just like kind of deformed or like a little lopsided, but apparently 1 in every 5 adults have it and they can like go to concerts, it'll be fine. I still don't take the chance because it'll still damage it. Maybe you have that. Who knows?
Or no, have you ever sat in a room that's like completely dead ass quiet, like where you can't hear anything, and like that's normally when it's like when you hear it, that
The ringing.
I
You know,
got
the
music
ringing,
or
and
something.
it's awful. It makes me go insane.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while, it's like that thing will happen where you know when you're on an airplane and you start going up, and then like suddenly you feel like the shift in your
Air
Yeah.
pressure.
like sometimes I'll be sitting there and suddenly that'll happen. I hear like a ringing, but it never lasts for longer than like a minute. It'll just slowly fade out. Maybe that's the beginning of it. Maybe I'm starting to go downhill.
No, now that we're talking about it, I can hear it right now as I'm talking, and it's kind of driving me insane.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Do you,
that's
hear-
just
do you
Alan's
hear
voice.
it?
We brought
no,
it up.
I'm fine.
You don't hear the ringing?
No, there's enough ambient noise to cut
Oh,
it
there's
out.
enough noise.
Yeah.
So your tinnitus is not at the extreme level yet as Ryan's.
I mean, because I've only recently started caring about like ear protection and stuff, so it hasn't gotten
I think
worse.
it's getting worse as we talk.
I knew it. It was Alan's voice.
We've put it at the forefront of your mind. It's like when you bring up blinking and then you can't stop thinking about blinking.
Oh, you fucking asshole! Now I'm
You
saying
monster.
like,
Ryan, how's that ringing in your ear going?
shut up.
We need ambient noises now. All right, Ryan, you have a bunch of stuff you want to talk about here. I'm not sure where to
Oh, it's
start.
mainly just me.
Let's hear it. Bitch away. Let's go.
Let me see here.
Wait, before we even go into Ryan's thing, mine kind of catapults off the thing that we talked about already with the billboard. So I want to mention that. So last week on Spotify, I saw like the Spotify top 10, and I was just curious. So I pulled it up and I noticed that 9 of 10 of them were all from the same person who had debuted
Wait a minute.
an album that week.
What?
All right,
I'm waiting
Spotify
a
top
minute.
10.
So it's all bullshit.
It was all this guy named Zach Bryan. You guys know who Zach Bryan is?
Oh,
Nope.
yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
I don't.
Country,
know who
a
that
country
is.
singer. So I was just
He
like,
must
so
be
I
really
saw
good.
that
Brian or Luke Bryan?
Zach Bryan,
Is
not
he-
Brian,
It's Luke.
just Brian. And it was like, so I actually sent you it's the first link I think I sent you.
Oh,
in
you just sent me a link?
in
Okay.
Discord. Yeah. But I had no idea who this guy was. So I looked it up and then I just started thinking about it like, okay, how does that happen? How can 9 of the top 10 spots be filled by somebody that I've never even heard of before? And once I realized it was country, I just started thinking like, is country like, is it really that popular that it can overtake an entire top 10 list for an entire week on a
absolutely.
streaming service where like I don't know a single person that like listens to Zach Bryan. So is it all coming out of just like specific states? Are we like that separated in America?
I don't know. I'm looking at it here. So this is a US Spotify. This is all him.
But how long are
you can
they?
see number 7 is missing because it's not his.
Oh,
maybe it's like movies, dude. Because when a new movie comes out, it's number 1 this weekend. Yeah, every movie is always not every, but a movie comes out, it's number 1, and then it's not. Like, how long is his music in the top?
Oh,
I know country's like stupid fucking popular, but I don't know.
In the U.S.,
what do you think this
taking
means?
up a lot?
Yeah, in the U.S.
In
the global one is
global,
obviously different.
It's skewed. Yeah, it's a little skewed, but still pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to give it to him. Pretty impressive.
I was actually surprised by this just because it was Spotify too, because it's like, I don't know, when I think about the demographic for country music, I generally think it skews older, and for streaming services, I generally think they skew younger, right? So when
dude, modern country is like not an older. The older people don't fucking listen to it. The older people listen to older country.
Interesting.
It's the kids like this shit.
So it's just got to be territory, right? Like, this is specifically happening in certain areas where a bunch of people are listening to country music, right? Like, that's all they listen to. They just listen to country music.
Is he controversial?
I don't know anybody. I've never met a single person that
is he controversial?
Outside of my mom.
Is he controversial?
Not that I know of.
I doubt it. It's just. I mean, around here, dude, that's probably most of what's listened to.
There's one
the clearest radio stations you're going to get are modern country stations.
I'll give one thing to modern country, and I heard someone say about this too. There's one good thing, like, you don't think about anything when you listen to country music. It's kind of just like there, but it's never negative. Okay. It's normally positive, and it's just all right. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to turn your brain off.
Here's my take on popular music. Why music is popular and why it gets so much listens. Because most people aren't musicians in any fucking respect, right?
Yeah.
So most people don't give a fuck about most of the things we do care about. They just want it to sound pleasant to the ear without trying to use your brain too much to wrap your head around what's going on. And the production of like hip hop and rap and stuff is very fun to listen to, and country is pretty much, you don't have to listen to too many to hear what's going on. It's all going to be the same shit. It's the same shit over and over and over. So it doesn't matter who you're listening to. Whoever put out an album, sure, they'll listen to it because it's just like the fucking Luke Bryan or Zach Brown or Zach Bryan or fucking whatever other random name you pull up out of the South. It's going to have the same shit, same production, and it's easy.
Here's an interesting fact, though. This is kind of crazy. Brian was born in Okinawa, Japan.
What?
I'm not even fucking with you. Like, that's where he was born. But he grew up in Oklahoma.
Military base?
Yeah, he grew up in Oklahoma.
His dad was in the Navy.
Yeah, stationed overseas in the Navy.
That makes sense.
But come on, that's pretty funny.
So he was born on American soil.
It's hilarious how we brought him up. And
yeah, right.
Yeah,
the only show where we're steering clear of most of the Japanese talk, and we bring a Japanese guy up here. Yeah, I mean, it is. I agree with a lot of what you were saying there, Ryan. I do think that if you don't play any music, you probably don't think about a lot of, like, it's just not even you don't even consider a lot of the stuff that we consider. So it doesn't matter, right? Like, it's just about how it feels in your ear hole, and like. That's nice and all, but I don't know about you guys. I'd actually like to know. Like, when I started breaking out of my original, like, what my parents were showing me music, which actually was country music because my mom was obsessed with country music. She's the only person I've ever met that listens to country music. So I grew up on country music until I was like 12 years old. But at a certain point, before I even started playing music, I realized, like, this is getting boring, and I want something fresh and new. And I wasn't a musician yet, but I knew that I wanted more out of what I was listening to.
That's a good point.
You guys
it might be the mindset, because I was the same. My parents, my grandpa listened to like old country. My parents listen to country, and they listen to like oldies and some modern radio. I mean, we're talking 80s, but I didn't want to listen to the country stuff. But the top 3 Billboard Hot 100: Oliver Anthony, country; Luke Combs, NASCAR, country, Morgan Wallen.
Country.
It's country, man. But I mean, look at the people who probably listen to the fucking. I don't know. I mean, because we're talking who's this appealing to you most? Like the Midwest, the big old large swaths of the middle of the fucking country.
So, but there's so many people in like other places, like California, New York, right?
Yeah,
and
there's
you would
more
think
people
that
on the coast,
right? So it must, to me, like just kind of trying to do the logic here. It seems to me that the people that are listening to country, they must be specifically listening to country, right? Like with less diversity in their catalog, because there can't be that many more people in the Midwest than there is in the big cities in America and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the people that tells me that like the people in like New York and California, for example, are listening to, they have like they're listening to more different genres, while the people
maybe
that are
they just
listening
have more
country
time to
are
listen.
just listening to country.
Maybe they just got more time to listen to fucking music because they're in the Midwest as opposed to being in the
Because
city.
it's so much slower.
It's just so fucking boring.
I mean, in the Midwest, 68 million people.
Okay.
But it's also including like, this is all the Midwest.
See the map,
so
you
I'm
have
curious.
the United States. There's a big red circle in the middle, which is all these people are the same amount that's on the coast. Like it's, probably something you're bringing up there.
So yeah, this is the 2020 United States Census put a population in the Midwest of 68 million. The Midwest is divided by the U.S. Census Bureau into two divisions. It's East, North, Central divisions, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, all of which are also part of the Great Lakes region. So it's only including those states that has 68 million. So I don't know, guys, because this is not including Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas is fucking a lot of people, and a lot of them listen to country in Texas. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think there might be more people altogether just in these center states, way more than what we're thinking, you know?
Dude, I'm going to send you a list right now that I just found, or it's a picture.
This is 2020 also.
All right, this is from 2018, but it is an image of the most listened to genres by state. And this is actually really surprising to me when I'm looking at it right now. Let me know when you get that pulled up.
Music by that's so funny that you found that. Wait, what?
The one on the top right. It was already there.
Yeah, it just went away. I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in. Here we go. There we go. All right, here we go.
Classic rock.
I love how New York's classic. Here's the thing, though. In New York, a lot of upstate New York people listen to country. So
yeah, but how many upstate New York people are there compared to New York City? There's a lot more people probably in New York City than comparatively. It's like a focused area. See, Indiana, classic rock. When it's just funny because right here where I am, the next city that has there's a local radio station plays some classic rock, and then South Bend has the most stations. It's the closest place, and it's like country, classic rock, country. We don't even have a hard rock station anymore. It's become a general kind of rock station.
I want to know how they're getting their numbers because this is weird. I love how they put
dude, it says
Latin.
country is in 7 fucking states.
And also it's so separated. It's just random states.
Latin for Texas? Come on.
That's the only one.
Look at pop only in California.
Yeah, it's only popular in California.
Latin is big in Texas for sure, but not bigger than country.
Most popular genre. Well,
I mean, it's really close to Mexico.
Yeah, but that's only certain parts. That's like the line, right? So yeah, I agree. Latin is probably way up there. I would agree. But
is rap on there anywhere? It's not on there, right?
No, it's just
no
R&B.
How the hell
they're
is
talking
that?
about R&B?
Yeah, fuck this chart.
I don't trust it.
Iowa's not even on there for metal, right? What the hell? Wait, where is Iowa? I'm not sure which state that is.
Metal.
Idaho.
Maybe it is metal.
It's the
North Dakota, South Dakota. North Dakota and South Dakota has metal, which I don't know about that.
Yeah.
What's Washington got up there? What are they calling Washington?
Indy.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That one's on point.
Would you consider the grunge genre actually to be indie at one point?
No.
At one point before corporate took it over.
No.
I mean, it would be You're just saying no with and not saying anything.
I don't know much about grunge, to be honest with you.
I actually feel like, well, back then was anything indie because like we didn't have the same sort of accessibility that we had.
But they
in the early
came out of
90s
like
as we do
independent
today.
labels. I mean, as far as like the literal terminology, yeah. I mean,
Okay, then yeah, I would say that they were.
yeah.
Okay.
See, indie bands
They were
used
not
to be
supposed to be popular.
Yeah, they
independent.
weren't.
Yeah, now like indie bands are on. They're not just on indie labels.
This is
Is that the
Mishaps.
only factor that goes into being an indie band?
I think it was
It's
initially like an
independent.
indie band was something that was
Yeah.
just
Like
a niche kind of band.
technically
Had
everyone's
who had its own thing going on,
yeah.
but now there's an indie sound,
Yeah,
shoegaze and all
Yeah.
that shit.
That's what
like
I'm
so many
referring
things,
to.
it went from a technical definition to like an overarching abstract.
Yeah, these people like this. We all must do it.
I love this chart right here. Look at this. So it says, what is the most listened to genre of music in the U.S.? But this is global record music retail sales by genre, 2009. So I don't know how accurate it is.
Oh,
Well,
well,
pop
I guess what
music
they're
was-
saying is that it's music that's made in America, but
Yeah, but
no,
it's
it's
record
most
sales.
listened to.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
I
record
don't know.
sales, which I
That's
thought was
shit.
funny.
That's a defining factor. I mean, if people are actually going out to buy your record instead of downloading it, that you know,
It's 2009, bro.
2009. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
it's 2009. That's like when
Fuck me
records
then.
were deciding to go.
Yeah, when people still had CD players at home.
So I don't know. This is the same people that made that other chart. I'm just,
All right, Ben Vaughn, you don't know what you're talking about, bro.
yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious where he got his data, but I can't find any supporting data.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's hard to quantify shit like this, though. It's really
but it's fun to
hard.
try.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
Oh man. All right, Ryan.
Yeah.
What was the thing you brought up? A really good point in the Discord this morning, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, why are you disinterested in new movies?
Oh man, I tell you what. I don't know. We used to go to movies like over the summer. We'd go probably once a week. It was really important, and it's a fun thing we like to do. And lately, it's been like, because I'm like a huge Indiana Jones fan, huge Spider-Man, the movies, the Across the Spider-Verse, great movie. I wanted to see the latest one, and The Flash. I've talked about that enough, but I just don't really give a fuck. Either other things have become more important, or I think, was it just my age, movie fatigue, or just money that cost to go in to see a freaking movie, as opposed to being able to just wait till it's streaming and then pay $5 to watch it if you need to.
Maybe you replaced it with going to concerts because you've been going to a lot of concerts, right?
That could be like it's way more entertaining, I guess, or important. But I don't know, man. I think part of it is just knowing. I've touched on this before, where it used to be like you'd go to a movie, you'd see a trailer to learn what was going to come up, and now there's fucking previews for trailers that are out for 3 weeks before the trailer drops. So it's like you hear about movies for years before they're even out, and there's all this build up, and it's like, okay, I've been living with this movie for a year and a half now, and it's going to be out. Why? So I don't know. I think it's just I'm tired of hearing about them.
I think
don't
it's
know,
just
man.
the accessibility to movies too. It's just like you said, you could just wait for it to be on a streaming service,
Ooh,
and so like going to the movies used to be like a treat to go because like you had no streaming services and stuff like that,
Right. Well, see, a lot of theaters around here usually up until I don't know the last 5 years, it was all just regular kind of theater seats. Some had nicer theater seats, and now like the ones what we go to have like the recliners and shit, which is nice. It's cool to go there, be able to chill out, get good sound. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the content. It's like everything is based on something else. You know what I mean?
There's this somebody brought up a comment here online that said movies seem to be written for 14-year-old males. I don't know.
Well,
how true
I think
that-
I bet
was
that
like-
was a 35-year-old woman that wrote that comment.
I was like, what? I was like, I thought about it for a second. I'm like, maybe the Marvel movies.
Yeah, maybe those. But like, I feel like a lot of people group them in as like, this is what all movies are today. Which is like, come on. I mean, we just had Barbie and Oppenheimer do incredibly well.
I
You
still
know,
haven't seen
Ryan,
that.
for me personally, tell me if you feel maybe the same way as me. I know one of the reasons that I have lost a lot of interest in the current era of movies is because it feels like there's this like uber capitalization financially on the IPs that are out there, rather than like a genuine interest in creating cinema based. Yeah, exactly. So like, I go into a lot of these. I see a trailer for something and I immediately think like, this doesn't feel as authentic as it would have 25 years ago. And I lose interest, just like psychologically speaking, like immediately, in knowing that I don't think that they're going to take care of that IP the way that I would really want them to.
I like Ollie's comment right here. This is so true. I think when you've seen movies for decades, you know all the plot twists and character types. I watched a lot of movies when I was younger, and I think that's absolutely true because you just know what's going to happen. It's really... I think that's why I switched to documentaries, because I enjoy documentaries way more because it was more interesting as real history. I noticed I started moving over to true story movies because I was like, because the regular movies wasn't doing it for me. Like if it wasn't interesting. And like when you did a true story one, you're like, well, this could go anyway because this really happened. You know, like it would give me that little edge to get through certain movies, you know?
The wonder, maybe the wonder's kind of gone. I used to go and be like, how the hell did they do that? How did they pull that off? How did they make that ship fly into that building? And now it's like, it's CG.
Yeah.
Like whatever they want to happen can happen. So there's no fucking surprises anymore. There's no wonder. Like, how are they going to pull this off? But you know what the fucked up thing is? I watch a lot of this web or YouTube channel. It's the Corridor Crew. And it's a bunch of visual effects guys. And they break down scenes and movies.
Yeah.
They have people on who deal with effects and stuff. And a lot of the stuff you think is, well, it's just... Because if you don't know shit about it, it's computers. It's computers. You know, somebody made that. Well, still, what goes into it is pretty insane, and it's brought my interest kind of back up. And because the effects aren't as simple as like a dude being like, okay, this building needs to go into this fucking other building or whatever. It takes a lot of shit. So it's brought my interest back up. But there's no whatever the person needs for the movie, it's capable of happening. So yeah, you have a big galactic fight. Okay, it's gonna look incredible.
Right. Well, let's relate it back to music then. It's like I respect people that are like really talented at programming music on a computer, right? Like they're really good at doing that type of thing. I can't do it. Good on them. They're very talented. But when I want to listen to that over listening to a band play those instruments? No, I want to hear the authentic, genuine aspect more.
Yeah.
So like, as much as that's cool and all, that's the same idea as like the CGI in the movies, where it's like that's cool, but it's not what I'm looking for out of it, and it feels a little bit more robotic, a little bit more AI.
It does seem like people are going back to more organic things, like they want to see more realistic movies.
Yeah. Do you think technology is going to make practical effects and live music more relevant? Because that's kind of what like kicked them all to the fucking curb, right? Practical effects got sidelined by CGI. I mean, it's still, there's a lot more practical going on than people realize.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can see whatever you want is because of computer generated effects. Music, anybody can make a fucking song. Everybody thinks they can mix, and it's so much easier to get everything out. So, but the one thing an AI can't do is have people actually perform the music on stage. So it's going to be more important for people to go see these people perform these songs.
Well, a lot of those people are just playing with backing tracks now, and people are being completely okay with it.
Unless you make a point of saying, hey, we're playing all our shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are trying to hide they're using backing tracks. Some people use it without any qualms. I understand that.
Yeah.
But maybe that's gonna bring it back to like, it's important to go see them because you don't know what's bullshit, if they can really sing or not. Same thing with movies. If you can watch a movie and it's like no CG was used in this movie, people be like, oh, how'd they fucking do that?
People our age. I don't know if the 18-year-olds care. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like I think that they're
Yeah.
perfectly okay with that because when I see the conversations about the music, they really don't give a shit if there's live people. They don't even care if people are playing it live when they go to see them. They're in
They'll
it
go
for the
watch a
stream.
dude in a turntable and be completely happy with it.
They'll watch lip syncing and be like, yeah, that's fine. This
Right.
is what I'm here for. I'm here for the vibes, right? Like they're not there for any other reason. And to me, that's probably the same situation with the movies, right? Like they don't care how authentic it is. This is what they grew up with. It was always like this for them, right? So what do they care
Right.
about going back in time and making things more difficult? Because that's really what it would be.
Think of that, going to a movie and just not having to wonder how they pulled off something. Like
I
as
never
opposed
thought
to when
about
we were
that.
kids, like, man, like you watch, I remember in one of what was in the theater, fucking Star Wars, whatever, you know. That looks like this. It's a ship in space. How do they do that? Because I know they didn't have a camera in space.
You don't know.
See, I don't think about that when I go to movies. Like, I try to get sucked in. Like, I notice when a movie's horrible when, like, I'm taking out of my trance, you know, because I get sucked in. I'm like, I'm fucking in the movie when I watch. So, like, if they do stuff to pull me out of the movie, I'm like, that must mean it's pretty bad. like where there's been some movies where I just like rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna fucking shut this off because I was like, I'm not even in the experience. Because there is movies that will take me out of experience, like some of the new Marvel movies. Like I couldn't even get into it. I'm like, what is happening to me? I used to be like so invested, like like ready to watch, and then all of a sudden, like these like newer ones, I was just like, I'm
All
like,
of a
oh
sudden
my
you're watching
God,
a video game.
Yes, like are they?
It's like you're watching a video game cut screen.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because I know there was CGI in those earlier Marvel ones, but it didn't bother me as much.
It was way less. You know, it wasn't like,
to be honest,
it wasn't like every scene.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it bothered me, you know? Like all I know is like if I go in there and I can completely forget about everything and be totally submerged, I'm happy. I don't care what's being done or what's used. I don't even think about that.
It's all about immersion for you.
Yeah. If I'm not immersed in it, I don't. To me, it's not a good movie. I'm like, oh well, the story, something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. It could be the CGI, it could be the storytelling, it could be the acting.
The best graphics are the ones you don't even realize it's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, all the graphics in that we didn't realize were happening. I saw from those green screen guys. They talk about. I think they do something about that, and you're like, holy shit! I didn't even know. I would have never known. You know.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons that like I feel a little like I can't get as into, for example, like anime fight scenes. You know, like people watch the anime fight scenes and they're like, "Damn, that is like the coolest scene I've ever seen." And while I think it looks cool and stuff like that, in the back of my head, I'm always just thinking like, "Yeah, but like it's a cartoon, so you could do whatever the fuck that you want to," you know? And so like it never reaches that like upper top tier level for me where if I saw like a practical fight between like actual like live action people that could hit like a 10 out of a 10 for me. But if you can draw it or if you could program it on a computer, it never reaches that status for me.
Yeah, but there's that's weird because I watched anime scenes. I'm like, dude, that is like explosions. Like you can have an explosion in an anime or in a cartoon and it can look pretty boring or it can look amazing. Like the first time I noticed that was important was in the Batman animated series. Like the explosions were so fucking cool looking. I'm like, why is that so much better than any other explosion I've seen in cartoon? There's like a delay, like a delay and then the explosion, and that's like what a lot of anime does. And like fight scenes where they have these massive fights where like it's global, it like affects the world. You see this guy do a punch and then it zooms out and it's like the world's moving out of the fucking place or whatever. I don't know. I think they are able to apply a scale to like of magnitude to their things. It's just something about how they animate action that to me is way different than like a lot of other animation I see. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. Like, and I think that they pull it off also. I think there's a big difference between you and me also. That is that you are an artist and I am not. So I have far less appreciation for the visual aspect of that type of thing. I honestly find myself zoning out during a lot of the fight scenes because I can't really relate on it. I
can't get into cartoons because I can't get immersed, like, or anime, because to me I can't get immersed into it. I have to really try. You know what I mean? The story has to be really good. Like for Chainsaw Man, the story was really good, and I'll get captivated for a certain period of time. I did try to get back into it, right? So I watched a couple animes. I was completely into it, but like I have no urge to go watch like the next season. I'm like, I don't even. Maybe it's just being too busy. I don't know. It's like,
could be.
Yeah, it's hard nowadays just to sit down and like watch a whole show.
That's a lot of time.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Oh, I messed up yesterday, and I'm still kicking myself for it. I got sucked into YouTube yesterday for it and killed like 2 hours of my time. And I'm like, fuck, I needed that time. I really needed it to get shit done, and I just wasted it watching my goddamn TV. I was so pissed off at myself. I'm still pissed to this day, to right now. Like, this happened last night. I like woke up and like, I was like, God damn it! I fucking wasted all that time last night. I have so shit to get done.
That happens. I just told you I watched 2.5 hours of In Flames and Kill Switch out of nowhere. For like, I should have been doing anything else during that time. It's easy to waste time every once in a while.
Yeah. Like every morning. Oh, I should be doing this or that.
I think our attention spans have gotten lower too. I know mine has, like, hardcore, and that's why I get so sucked into like YouTube and shit.
Definitely true. At least for me. I mean, for the world, right?
It's also
like,
easier. Yeah. It's just so much easier instead of like getting up and getting a video and put it in your fucking your VHS player or DVD player and like choosing something to watch and then sitting there and committing to watch it when you can just flip between 100 different things when you get bored with your current content, you know?
You're so right. Do you remember the early days of Netflix? What they made you do before it started streaming?
What, order the DVD?
Nobody. Yeah, so like in the very beginning, they only had like very limited options for what you could see, and then you had to place an order with them, and they would send it to you in the mail, and then you'd have 30 days to send it back to them. And I remember at that time thinking, like, you know, I'd spend like 2-3 hours scrolling through Netflix, thinking, okay, which DVD do I want sent to me?
This has got to count, man.
Yeah, this has to matter, right? Like, so I'm going to spend all this time actually trying to figure this out, and then I'm gonna watch it multiple times because I paid for this shit and I have it for a whole month, right? So you're planning all of this stuff out when now you just turn on like TikTok or YouTube or something like that, and you have 500 videos at the tip of a finger, and you only have to watch 2 minutes of each of them, or less.
There's no commitment at all.
None.
You know what I hate? When I commit to a YouTube video, like I'll be watching it, but it's only in the corner, and then there's other thumbnails out there, and then another one grabs your attention. You're like, fuck, I want to finish this one, but nah, fuck, and then you click another one, and then you're like, God damn it, I didn't even finish the last video. And then I go look at my video history, they're like half viewed because I fucking clicked away. I'm like, God damn it.
All the time.
Yeah, Parker makes a good point. Do you ever like have, all right, I got a couple hours, and you end up spending the whole time looking for something to fucking watch, then you find something, there's not enough time to watch it, so you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say half of my day revolves around trying to find something I want to watch rather than actually watching things.
Oh my God, people drive me mad when they do. They're fucking flipping it. I'm like, just put it on something. Like, play something.
No way, bro. That video is
Pornhub.
No, just play the video.
No way. That video is 6.5 minutes long. There's no way I'm putting that on.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend my time watching that video.
Not a chance. Maybe if it was 2.5 minutes, maybe I'd get it.
It's nice. Sometimes my wife and I will be like, you know what? We should just watch all of the Aliens movies this weekend. I'm like, you know what? We should. And we'll watch every fucking movie.
That's awesome because it gives you like a reason to do it. You know what I mean? It's like you have a plan set in motion.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, it's not the whole day. We'll watch one, you know, maybe it'll be over the course of the week, but, you know, we'll take that time, spend it with each other, watch this movie, laugh about it, marvel at it, whatever, you know.
I remember like with shows on Netflix, Ozark, I remember like, all right, I'm going to train myself. I'm just going to watch one episode. Fucking 10 episodes later, the season's over, still the same day. I'm like, God damn it.
I don't know why, but I can't sit down and just watch shows anymore. I always tell myself, oh, I'm gonna start a new series today, or I'm gonna start a new show on Netflix or whatever, and then all of a sudden I get wrapped up in YouTube, and I just like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that, huh?
Yeah. It's been a long time for me. I can't remember. I think the last show that I watched like a season of was the Harley Quinn animated series, which was like 3 years ago at this point, and they just came out with the fourth season now. But
Ollie, I did like Spirited Away. I have seen that movie. I did like that movie.
I haven't seen that yet.
Never seen it.
It's a good movie.
I've seen a bunch of Ghibli ones, not that one.
Yeah, people, we can enjoy every Alien movie, no matter which one it is. I don't care. For me, the prequels, all the sequels, we'll enjoy them all. Dude.
I haven't seen any of them.
People have opinions.
I haven't seen any of them either.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
First one was 79, dude. Came out in 79.
Is that the movie where they have the meme of the thing coming out of the guy's stomach?
Yes.
The alien that comes out of the guy's stomach.
The chest
Okay.
burster.
I know that
Sigourney
from Spaceballs.
Yeah. That same guy that happened to in Spaceballs is actually the guy from Aliens that it happens to.
They reused the actor. That's
spoiler alert.
hilarious.
He goes, "Oh no, not again!" And it pops out his chest.
Yeah, he does. He does say that. I always wondered why he said that. Like, okay, now that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, hello, my baby.
Hello, my baby.
My honey.
Hello, my honey.
That's like how they used in not another teen movie. They reused the guy from the fat guy from Varsity Blues as the linebacker that has the heart attacks.
Oh yeah.
He's got like a countdown. You got 6 heart attacks left before you die.
Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
All right.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
We have this thing that I don't know who sent me this article, but 40 years later, Star Wars fixes one of its dumbest mistakes.
Oh yeah. This is. I just thought it was funny because I didn't know what they were talking about, right? So apparently, when Luke, they're fighting Jabba the Hutt on their little desert freaking cruiser going on, and when Luke accidentally takes out freaking Boba Fett, or whatever, there's some guy coming up to him and he kicks him, but the shot was wrong, and it shows like he didn't even connect at all, and the guy goes flying backwards, and now they've made it to where it was a force kick. They like retconned it in some comic or something, so it was like. He didn't just miss his mark. It was a force kick.
Oh,
apparently it's been like a meme. It's been like a meme within the Star Wars fandom for a while. But
so it's like the stuntman didn't quite connect like the way that he was supposed to, or they shot it at an angle that showed it wrong.
He used the force, man. It was a force kick.
It was a force kick.
Totally
I agree.
Freaking plausible.
Yeah,
but it's just funny. Like they feel they have to fix these fucking things. Like whatever, dude. It's just a fucking movie, man.
It's been 40 years. Who cares?
It was a bad shot.
No, it was a force
it's
kick,
almost like
Ryan.
one of those...
It was a force fucking kick.
It's one of those things though that I feel like the fandom probably looks back at it. It's like a fun thing for them, that exists. So like, because I remember when they first started fixing stuff. Like I remember back like 20 years ago when they made like the first fix in CGI. I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe I think it had something to do with like the hologram.
Oh well,
is there a part where he walks on Jabba's tail or something like that?
Okay, so. There's the original versions that you can't even get anymore, and then Lucas put them out again, and he added a bunch of CG shit to it.
Yeah,
and then he did more revisions and added a scene that was deleted where Han was talking to Jabba the Hutt, and he like walked over his tail or some shit.
Yeah.
The Force Ghost was after the prequels came out. Then they revised the end of Return of the Jedi to have what's his name? He played Anakin.
Hayden Panettiere. No, that's the girl.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen.
There you go.
They put his ghost in instead of the guy who played one of the many people who played Darth Vader in the original series, because the guy that was wearing the suit the whole time is a different guy than they showed at the end of fucking Return of the Jedi, and so there's been a few people didn't voice him either.
Were furious about that. I remember that.
I mean, it didn't make sense. It didn't go back to a younger Obi-Wan or younger Yoda. It was the last form they had. So fucking whatever. It was just a weird decision. I know why he did it, because the movies just came out, so he tried to make it relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wouldn't leave shit alone, man.
But yeah, people didn't want that. People didn't want CGI added into old movies that didn't have it.
The force kick is a very clever fix, though. Like, it totally makes rational sense. Like, if you're gonna like put in something.
I mean, honestly, with how powerful Luke is supposed to be, I'm surprised they didn't use the Force a little more than he did.
Yeah, that's true.
Should have been able to just take out everybody really quick.
I think it's against the Jedi thing or whatever. Like, you're only supposed to use it for
maybe if they used more CGI, then he would have done more Force stuff.
Maybe
it's because you got to use it liberally.
You're saying Force abilities were limited to the time the movie was made? Get out of here.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, if you watch the Clone Wars series, man, there was some shit Jedi could do that they didn't ever show in the movies. It's kind of like it reminds me of Voltron. It's like, why are you going through all these initial stages? Just start with Voltron and take out the fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you would have
you start with the one-on-one fights. It doesn't work, and then all you come together and you fucking beat the shit out of everybody. That's how it was with like Clone Wars and stuff. Like they'd have little individual fights, and then you have like Mace Windu who could just take out an entire battalion of clones with like one move. It's like, why didn't you just start with that instead of taking out 50 out by like one strike each?
It's because they had to like, you know, stretch that story out, you know, just a little bit longer.
I know why. I know why.
Or maybe it's because Mace Windu was charging his powers, like he didn't have them built up yet, and he had to meditate and like get the Force like summoned in him, and then he was like, "All right, now I'm ready to kick ass." So they had to
see a movie
stall.
where a character goes, "Oh shit, I forgot I could have done this," and then just take everybody out, and then
Doesn't Deadpool do that in something similar to that? This sounds familiar.
It sounds
very
like
well could, yeah.
It sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, it sounds like
why didn't I just start
like,
with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
And he's like, but this is more fun.
Yeah, Deadpool enjoys murdering people. I don't think he'd want to kill everybody in one. He did take out those 3 people with that one gunshot that one time.
Yeah.
But that was due to lack of resources, not due to him being efficient.
I'm excited for the next Deadpool movie. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably the
Hell
only movie.
yeah.
That's the only one I'm
there's a
looking
movie-
forward to.
There's a movie that's being made because the people that making it want to make that movie.
Yeah.
As
Which is
opposed
why we can look forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
only one I'm
Because
looking
it's
forward to.
genuine.
Yeah.
It's genuine. You know, Ryan Reynolds fucking loves playing Deadpool and wanted that so badly his whole
Yeah,
life.
man.
So like, and then even for Hugh Jackman to come out, like he was done. He was done as Logan, but he's friends with Ryan, and they obviously like. I don't think this is just a money grab for Hugh Jackman. He could get money whenever
They
he
don't
wants
need
to get
it.
Money, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they genuinely want to make this movie because they think it's gonna be funny, and I appreciate that. That's what makes me want to see it.
I've seen some scenes and stuff like with the old yellow spandex for Wolverine. I got so fucking excited in my childhood when it came out. Like those Fox cartoons, like because it looks exactly like, you know, that comic era or whatnot. So I'm pretty fucking excited for it.
They even got
He hasn't put
Ben
on that
Affleck
costume
and,
in like 20 years.
What's her name? Jennifer Gardner as reprising their roles as Daredevil and Elektra.
Oh no way!
Oh, that's right.
No
yeah, that's
fucking
right.
way! All right, I'm super fucking excited. That's gonna be hilarious.
Are they for sure doing that?
Yeah.
Is that like definitely happening?
I'm looking up right now.
Because that kind of bums me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? I don't think Ben Affleck was
Because
that
I loved
bad of a
the-
Daredevil. Come on.
Because I loved the Daredevil series that was on Netflix.
That's true.
And like,
I like
I would
that
much
too,
rather
yeah.
have that Daredevil than
Charlie
the Ben
Cox.
Affleck.
Yeah.
But
He
it's
was
the
way better.
multiverse, man. You can have more than one, so that's what they're going with.
Very true.
It's
Yeah.
true because we did get him in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Like he did show up as Daredevil in that movie.
Yeah.
But like I was under the impression that Deadpool is now under Disney and now they're going to be like part of the MCU.
Is it under Disney, Deadpool now?
It is.
Uh-oh.
But they're still letting them do what they want to do. It's
Okay,
still gonna be
good.
R-rated.
I'm about to say, I hope so.
I think it's all dude when they put out Deadpool and they had like a PG-13 version. I think that was funny as hell because
It was awesome.
the edits they had to make.
Dude, I was able to take my son to it. Like he
Yeah,
was like 12 years old, and I was able to take my son over to see Deadpool on the Christmas version of Deadpool.
Yeah, it's funny.
I've never saw
fucking
the
brilliant.
Christmas version of it.
They made it like Princess Bride. The whole intro to the movie is like Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's fucking great, dude. Yeah, Once Upon Deadpool. It was so super smart. It's like 90 minutes. I think it's Deadpool 2, right? Like it's like a version of Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
That's only 90
So-
minutes long, and they get rid of like all of the most vulgar stuff so that it's only got a PG-13 rating.
I don't think it's confirmed yet with Ben Affleck. It just says rumored that he's reprising.
Who knows?
But now new rumors have begun circulating. Another former Marvel star might just be coming back to play a familiar role, Ben Affleck. So it's just a rumor as of right now.
I mean,
But-
if he comes back and Charlie comes back, then I'm down. But I don't want it to only be Ben Affleck doing that.
We'll see though. But I don't mind Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I actually enjoyed that movie, but then again, I was really young when I saw it. So
when's the last time you watched that movie, dude?
I know. I was probably like 12. So
I watched it about, I don't know, a few months ago, and it's
pretty bad?
fucking bad. It's
Really?
pretty bad.
I'll be
Mainly
honest.
his hair. His hair is like the worst thing. It's like this weird fucking off red color. It just looks so fucking fake and stupid.
They made it red in the comic book too. You know, they're just trying to copy that. You know,
I know, but man,
he had red streaks in his hair. It's kind of ridiculous if you think about it.
Just funny. I did watch it though. but it's pretty bad. There was
How was
actually I
Jennifer
remember
Garner?
watching it and thinking like I'm like, wow, I'm impressed. I was kind of impressed with some of the effects and shit that happened in the movie. Like it was kind of as old as it was. What
When
about
did that
Jennifer
come
Garner?
out? Like early 2000s?
Oh God, I can't remember.
2003, 2004, something like that.
So here's a cool quote right here. It says, "It's been fun." Reynolds previously explained to ET Canada when asked about Deadpool 3. He and I are both really excited. We've wanted to do this for a decade. So him and Hugh Jackman. So to have this opportunity now is, I think, actually weirdly the perfect time. I never stopped trying to recruit Jackman. I was just pestering him like a gnat over the last many years. I actually just think I believe in timing as much as hard work and luck, and all those intersections we're supposed to meet. Timing is a big one as well. So pretty much he had been bugging him for a decade to do it. That's crazy. Hey, got him to do it. I'm happy for it. I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
cool.
Especially after Logan. It was probably like because after he made the movie Logan, I specifically remember him doing interviews saying like, that is it. I am never playing Wolverine again. So Ryan Reynolds must have some good charm to him. We know that he does.
Oh, we know he does.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about him? Like, I hated him so much in the early days of his career. I was just like, God, this guy is so fucking annoying.
But
everything
then you like
he does
him
is annoying. Yeah, but he's so cool now. Like,
Yeah.
he's just the man now.
Yeah, I think Daredevil might have been the thing. I mean, not Daredevil. Deadpool might be the thing that won me over with Ryan Reynolds. Because when I watch him in other movies, they're still not as good. I saw some other movies that he's done recently. It was on Netflix. I'm like, it was like pretty okay.
Yeah, he's incredibly agitating in Van Wilder. That was the first thing I saw
that's
him
the first
in,
movie I saw him in too. Yeah,
and he was so annoying. But I love Waiting, the one about
that's a good
waiters
one.
at a
Yeah,
restaurant.
that was good.
And I don't know if it's all him that I love about it. Like in my memory, it's like everything about the movie. It's just like got a cool vibe to it. But he's the lead character.
Wasn't
so
that where he puts
been
like the
that
nut
bad.
sack on the fucking plate or
Yep.
something like that? I can't remember. How did it go?
Yep. The guy, I don't remember either, man. It's been fucking 15 years, but it was a great movie.
That was a good movie.
No Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place fans. I've never even seen that show.
Yeah, I never heard of that. So
I think that was shortened to just Two Guys or something later.
that movie came out in 2005. Waiting, yeah. Oof,
Waiting
wow,
was-
hour and a half for a movie. Wow, it's pretty short.
The good times, man. Back in the good times. It was
Uh,
super easy to watch a movie.
Yeah, I didn't have to commit like all afternoon to watch a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Somehow people develop characters in an hour and a half. What?
Yeah, how did that happen?
Some people could do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Man.
true.
I'm gonna go watch Waiting now. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
I'm trying to think of any other movie that I've watched with him now, and I'm actually coming up blank. I've seen him do cameos, like in The Other Guys. I remember him doing a cameo as like the gay guy from the fighting rink that's just banging the other dude that's trying to figure out if he's gay or not. But outside of that, I can't think of anything else.
Wasn't he in Blade 3? I remember seeing him in Blade 3. I remember liking the Blade movies too, but again, it's been a long time. I was like fucking 12 when I watched those.
The Blade movies are actually dope as fuck.
I thought they were.
The first two, 3 was a little wacky. They utilized CG before they could really do it, and because Wesley Snipes is so fucking high that he couldn't act. From what I've seen about behind the scenes shit, like he was like taking post-it notes and writing notes to the director because he wouldn't leave his trailer and shit. So they're like, oh, fight scene? I guess he's not going to be in it. So it's like full CG in like fucking 90 whatever.
Oh damn!
I don't know when the last one was.
You're making me kind of want to go see these now.
Yeah, the
one
first
and two
two
are good.
pretty awesome. Though.
I saw them recently. I haven't seen the third one yet though.
No, he is coming back. The character Blade. He was introduced in the MCU.
Yeah, with a different guy, right?
So
we didn't see the guy yet. So whenever he gets, I mean, they might have cast him. I don't know who it is.
98 was the first one. Yeah,
Ryan, what is this part about? I was curious. I was curious where you're going with this. 'Cause I couldn't find the article for it, but you put EPA removes federal protections for most of the country's wetlands.
Oh, just a headline I saw. I didn't even really flesh that one out.
I was going through. I'm like, what other headlines do we have in here that we can talk about? But anyways.
How about, I don't know. How about James Gunn calling Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight movies awful?
Yeah, I'm liking James Gunn less and less, dude.
That was
opens his fucking mouth.
Out of pocket. I don't know what he's thinking right now. That is how you
Well,
build
there's an
ill
old
will with your whole fan base.
in an interview. He said he's like Tim Burton movies were not good. They were poorly written and blah blah blah. And then he didn't like Nolan's movies. It's like, dude, what the fuck? I
Yeah,
mean, your opinion is your opinion, but really?
But you're the new CEO of like the DCEU. You're going to be making all the movies going
Yeah.
forward, and all of your fan base loves those Dark Knight movies. So you just come off as an egotistical, self-righteous prick by saying stuff
You
like
pissed
that.
off
Okay,
everybody anyway.
Why doesn't he like him? That's what I'm curious about. What is his
He
reason?
said they were
Open the
crap,
article.
just like,
He talks about it a little bit.
yeah.
He just says they're crap, or actually gives a which article is it?
I just
It's
said he
the
said the writing
one-
was bad.
I sent it to you earlier. It's the one that says James Gunn calls Christopher Nolan Dark Knight movies awful.
He's trying to cause controversy to build hype for his new movies. That's why.
Well, I don't know how old those, because they cited an interview, and I don't know how old the interview was. I don't think it was recent.
August.
It's like people dragging up shit.
Zack.
Oh, that could be it.
Zack Snyder fans don't like James Gunn. Some of them believe he is unfit for the head DC. More the mindset with superhero fatigue. Oh yeah, so the Tim Burton Batman is poorly written. The soundtrack is the worst work of everyone involved, and is absolutely one of the most boring films ever. Before we go further, we can all agree that Prince had no business being involved with the film, right?
I agree Prince shouldn't have had anything to do with the soundtrack. The orchestral soundtrack is fucking iconic.
Yeah,
I guess he's talking about the pop music, which was crap.
okay. I'm willing to give him a pass on that because I agree that the pop music was crap, but the actual soundtrack.
It was not
Boring?
boring. I don't agree.
The movie's not boring.
I don't.
Fucking
I
masterpiece.
love Jack Nicholson. He said he goes to criticize Jack Nicholson's interpretation of Joker. I thought it was a good interpretation of Joker.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, dude. Like that's always cited as one of the best character
He played the gangster
driven
Joker.
performances ever, and he's like, yeah, it's just crap.
He also found Michael Keaton's voice ridiculous and the overall acting not even on par with 1960s TV series. Okay, come on, dude.
He's going super hard. Yeah,
Dude,
scroll
yeah,
down.
he's
Keep
going
scrolling
really
down.
hard.
He goes to
When was
Christopher
that
Nolan
from?
next.
And on top of everything, the dark creature of the night can't even move his fucking neck. Give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous.
fuck
Awful
up.
film.
Okay,
It's-
now to be fair, Michael Keaton's Batman was very stiff. You
Yeah,
could
it
tell
was.
like he couldn't
was.
really move in that costume. Very
Burton's Planet of the Apes is genius in comparison. Now that is a take. I was a kid when I saw those. I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for the Tim Burton one, so I don't know. It's very. I took it as like a comic book lifted off the sheets and put as a movie. That's the way I took those. I never took them like that serious, but I was also a kid when I saw those. So,
Bro,
I
the
mean,
same way of the original Spider-Man trilogy with
It's
Sam
11
Raimi.
years old.
Yeah. What the?
Oh, that article.
Oh yeah, Jack Nicholson is a Joker. I followed the tweet and it said 11 years.
Wow.
7 likes. 7 likes.
Crazy.
Whoa.
Dude, people pull up the oldest shit nowadays just to fill in their like quota for trying to get a response on it.
Maybe he's changed his mind now. You know.
He probably has. Like honestly.
That's 10 years to think about that.
Wow.
He was thinking-
I mean, this is how Gunn got in trouble
It's a
originally,
ridiculous, awful film.
Speaking of that, I wanted to see The Flash just to see Mike Keaton come back, but I still haven't seen it.
Yeah,
yet.
that's the only reason I
Watch
was
it.
going to go. Then I was like, there's no point because it's not going anywhere.
It's good. The cameos at the end like make it even more hype, dude. It's actually even without that stuff, it's still a good movie.
It is?
Yeah, yeah.
Right on.
As a,
Is it still in theaters?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
damn.
don't know,
I don't-
but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Even though I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC, but yes.
Yeah, I still want to watch it, but I was like, I just over it. But it's been what? How many years? 8 freaking years or something. It was supposed to come out, or it's
Something
like,
like
come
that.
on, man.
I love how this article, though, is like, it tells you that they're trying to fuck with Gunn right here. He's like, normally Gunn replies to these types of things, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, like, this article is,
Yeah.
like, purposely put out so he'll respond.
Yeah, and this was literally just from like a tweet that I saw yesterday or this morning.
Yeah.
So they're definitely trying to mess with. This is how he got in trouble originally, because like remember he got like canceled, quote unquote canceled a few years back. It was because people pulled up like old stuff that he said like 10, 15 years ago or something like that. It looks like they're trying to do it again.
It doesn't look like he said anything. What Nolan's films are the Dark Knight ones?
Yeah.
See, the Dark Knight ones were really weird for me, but just hear me out. Like, I couldn't get into them. Like the very first one, I remember saw the very first one, and since I came off of watching like all those other ones, I didn't like the very first movie.
All those other ones, what?
Like the Michael Keaton ones, like the Tim Burton ones. Okay. So, like, I'm coming from those. So, you know, that's my childhood. I'm a little bit older. The Dark Knight series comes out, and I remember the very first one, and this is the one with the guy that plays Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars. I think is the
Batman
first
Begins.
Batman Begins.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yeah, I just know him from Star. I always remember him. But I was like, I just couldn't. I watched it too, and it was when they had one of the last drive-in theaters still open. I watched that one of those. It was like a 2 feature or whatever, and it was just so serious that I was like, I couldn't get into it at first. I would love to watch it again. And then the second one with the Joker, the acting was so good and the storytelling was good, but I felt like it dragged. Like I fell asleep during that movie, but I knew it was good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it felt good, but I don't know why I was like that. Maybe it's just I was so used to the silliness of the first ones, you know, that it did throw me off. Those are movies I would like to go back and watch again, because I might have a different perspective.
That's a fair assessment, dude. You don't. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to like them, but to take some. That's like me saying Pink Floyd fucking overrated. Yeah, he wasn't that good at guitar anyway. He hardly played notes. You know. Yeah. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, Alan. Honestly, like I 100% respect and appreciate those movies. But if we're gonna like put them on the pantheon of like how much I actually just personally enjoy them, it's pretty far down too, just because of how serious it takes itself. I really like comic movies that are like a little bit humorful and a little bit like over the top and even a little bit cringy every once in a while, you know, which is why I like some of those old Batman movies and the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. And the original X-Men movies too, you know, like the 2000 X-Men. Yep. I like they're kind of cheesy, but they're fun. And like the Dark Knight was like super serious, or like Batman Begins especially. I like Dark Knight quite a bit, but Batman Begins to me I'm totally with you. I was kind of bored by that movie.
Yeah, then the one with Bane too. Which one is that? Or
The Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns. So I definitely like the second one the most, if I remember correctly. But the Bane one, I saw that one in theaters. I was again kind of, it just dragged. That movie Begins, and I guess the third one, all of them felt like they dragged to me for some reason. I don't know why.
I have issues with choices they made, because Bane is supposed to be a luchador who's just like takes venom and gets strong, and they totally change him, and for some reason he talks like this, and it's like, dude,
yeah,
you got a guy with a great fucking voice there, and you make him change it, put him on a mask. It's just a dumb fucking decision. I don't understand that,
dude. He's such a good actor to do that, plays Bane.
Tom Hardy is amazing.
Oh, dude,
and then I like Liam Neeson
a lot in the. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, they took Neeson played a character. They combined 2 characters from Batman's mythos and put them together, and they take. It's just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I like the movies as a whole, but there's little details. It's like, why did you do that?
Yep.
That Bane though, that version of Bane is the one that's going to last into pop culture, I think, for a long time.
What about
like the official? This is the Bane that everybody knows.
What about Bane and Batman 4 with like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Jesus Christ! The freaking
George Clooney as Batman.
Batman Forever, dude. That was my favorite personally. I don't think it's bad. Fuck that. That was my
era. One of my favorite Batmans. Somebody mentioned in the chat, and they're absolutely right. The Val Kilmer one. Dude, Jim Carrey plays such a badass Riddler, and Tommy Lee Jones plays
Joker
Two-Face.
In Riddler's clothing.
I don't. He still.
It was entertaining as hell.
They're always close. Riddler, I think they were always close. Like when you watch the cartoons, they kind of always seem like the same kind of. I always consider Joker like more the gangster type, you know, but I don't know. I remember that third movie. That was good.
I can enjoy that, but
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger as freaking Mr. Freeze is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. That movie was trash. But,
I mean, it was
each
my
their own.
childhood.
Who killed
So.
the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Freeze.
Come on, that was great. Those
Dude,
one-liners.
He made so much money. Like they wanted him so bad. He's like, I want $1 million every time I'm set. Some ridiculous thing like that. Like, and I can only work this many hours a day. I need to be able to smoke cigars. Like you're Mr. Freeze. I still need a stogie.
Didn't that movie?
Yeah, dude.
I kind of want to look up like how much money that movie made. It wasn't complete trash. I don't know. George Clooney.
I mean, it did great because
I'm
everybody
guessing
wanted to
they
see it.
all did great.
Yeah.
It's probably
Goofy, but
every one of them
enjoyable.
did well.
That
That's
was
the
Tim.
thing. Then you didn't know it was crap until you went to see it. Now you know it's crap before it comes out.
Yeah.
But you don't know.
No,
You don't know because people will say shit and it might be very, very wrong.
I know you don't know, but more people are put off by what somebody says than what they actually see.
Right.
So if
Well,
you get a
that's
bunch
the
of
thing,
reviews
right?
saying it's crap, you're gonna wait and fucking watch it on streaming. You know,
And that's why you guys didn't go out and see Flash.
I didn't go out and see Flash because I was fucking sick of hearing about it,
Mm.
and I knew the story wasn't gonna fucking go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited about it 7 years ago when it could have like affected the rest of the movies coming out, but none of those movies are gonna happen now.
It is hard to get invested in a project when you know that the project is over afterwards and it's going to restart.
Yeah, like they're gonna still put out Aquaman 2. Why? What's the fucking point?
I am curious which actors he's going to bring back in, because like if he's resetting the whole thing, is, for example, John Cena's Peacemaker still going to be Peacemaker going forward? Because he just had a show and they renewed it for season 2. But by the time season 2 comes out, James Gunn is taking over the DCU. So like,
but that was his show, so
I know, but it has people from the past, like the Suicide Squad people. So like, how does that canonically fit in?
Yes, we'll see what he actually, how much he actually wants to do versus what he just wants to do.
Yeah, he could easily just say multiverse, just like Marvel has been doing.
I think they're leaning
Multiverse, and we're
towards
just gonna
that,
ignore
for
these
sure.
verses.
That first Batman Tim Burton one came out in 1989.
I know.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Same year as And Justice for All. How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is crazy. That's old as fuck, bro. We are old.
We are. Yeah, that's Batman 89. There's even comic series. It's called Batman 89. It's based in that universe. It's all drawn with Keaton and Nicholson and everything. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I will always appreciate okay, so like we were talking about the art before. Like I will always appreciate the Batman the animated series art style though, just because they did all that shit on like dark paper or whatever, right? Like that's why the sky is always red and like there's just shadows. It's more shadow than it is light because it's done on black paper instead of white paper, and it just looks so freaking cool because of that.
So remembered when I heard about I was into Batman. I probably got into it a year or two before. I've always liked Batman anyway, so I started reading the comics, and then I heard about the movie coming out, right? So I was excited. Then when I saw the first preview, I'm like, "What? This costume's not all black." Like I was all pissed off because it was just wrong. That's not what he looks like. Supposed to have blue and gray. It was like comics and everything, and I was all like judgy. But I was happy with Michael Keaton, so I liked him as an actor.
So here's Batman and Robin, 238 million. He had silver in his.
That's a ton for when that came out, dude. Like with inflation, that is so much more.
Yeah.
What year was that?
1997.
97.
Damn.
I bet it's 450 million today.
Yeah, George Clooney often joked that he killed the Batman franchise. After seeing the box office numbers and critical reception, it's not hard to see why he thought that. Man, that was the 9th. And then Batman Returns was 266 million.
After seeing the box office numbers, he thought he killed the series at $238 million.
Yeah. So Batman Returns which is Burton's sequel to Batman. That one did 266. So these aren't even the top ones. So these are the low ones, Number 7, Batman Forever.
What year was that? 19 was Batman Forever? Or Batman
97.
Batman, yeah. And Returns is 92. So that 92 movie did more money than that 97. But Batman Forever with the Riddler came in 7 with 336 million. And I thought
that would have been
was such a good one.
286 million in 97 would be 544 million now. Jesus Christ.
About twice as much.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I thought this one would have been even better. I mean, I do like Val Kilmer. He did a good job. But if Michael Keaton was in this one, I think this would have been my favorite out of all of them. But I really like the first one. I really like the first Batman, 1989 one. Because they kept
Keaton
it.
bailed. He's like, I don't want to be part of that shit.
Batman Begins with 373 million. Which one is this? This is the
That's
Nolan
the one you
ones.
didn't like.
Yeah.
That's the one you didn't like with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, you know what it was too? I didn't like the actor who played Batman either.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I liked his Western movie that I can't remember. It was a Western movie I saw with him in it that I liked, but
310 to Yuma?
I think so, yeah. I think it was that one.
Great movie.
Yeah.
He's a great actor and you're ridiculous.
So I just don't like him as Batman. The first Batman did 411 million. This is for 1989.
In 89? That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that's
check that
double the sequel. Almost double the sequel. While Keaton's casting was initially met with widespread
400 and what?
11 million.
411. It was initially met with widespread backlash. He would go on to prove his doubters wrong, however, once Batman was finally released. So they didn't even want Michael Keaton. A lot of fans were pissed off about it.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian and a comedic actor. Yeah. That's over $1 billion in today's money.
Wow. That's crazy.
1.013, yeah. 13 million. 1 billion, 13 million.
Wow. It's honestly crazy at that point that like society didn't shift already to start putting like superhero stuff into the mainstream category.
Yeah.
You know, because when something comes out and they were craving this stuff and it makes $1 billion, you would think that like the kind of tone for how people view like comic book fans would shift at that point and make it a little bit more mainstream. But that didn't happen until 25 years later with the Marvel stuff.
I think it was starting to, but I think they ruined it with other movies because I remember hearing like the Batman movies, like people were like, "Oh, that's good, that sounds good," but then they tried other ones and they failed because there was a Flash movie back then too that like flopped. Too. Yeah, there's Captain America and a Flash movie that came out in the early '90s that did horrible. Like they were trying. I'll look it up right now after I go through this list.
Early 90s?
Yeah, because there was a Flash one. I remember the Flash one specifically because I was so excited for it because that was one of my favorite DC characters was Flash. And what was the other one you said?
Captain America?
Captain America, yeah. But that's Marvel.
I think that was before that, wasn't it?
Maybe it was. I swore it came after the Batman movie,
I know
the
there's
Flash
a Flash
movie.
TV series.
Yeah. Oh, Flash was a series. Okay, maybe that's what I'm confusing it was. It wasn't a movie. It was a series. But that was after the Batman, 1989.
That was way after. That you're talking about the WB series?
No, not the W. There's one older than that.
Oh.
So here's something interesting right here. The Pattinson one. I think, this is Pattinson one.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. So the Batman did 736 plus million.
I like that movie.
That's a great movie, dude.
It is.
Yeah,
it's not tied to anything else. It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
Just to be clear on the numbers, though, 736 million, like compared to they're putting it at number 4, but number 5, including inflation, was actually way better than that.
Yeah, that's true. Because this is a more recent one. So
number
that
5
just happened. Yep. Yeah, number 5 was the Batman one that made over $1 billion in today's.
No, that was Batman '89.
That's that one, right?
Yeah,
that's number 5.
Batman.
Oh, number 5. Okay.
Yeah, so number 4 made 736 million.
Right on. Well, yeah, I mean,
I remembered liking this movie, but there was something missing for me. I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I would say I would enjoy it more than like Batman Begins for sure. But there's something about it I just didn't like. I don't know what it was though. But I enjoyed the movie. I walked away from it. There was just something about the ending, I think it was, if I remember correctly. And I already forgot how the story went too. Like I can't recall how that movie went, the Batman.
We factor in
more
costs.
of a psychological thriller than anything.
Profit will probably be a lot bigger margin on the old ones versus the new ones too.
This one surprised me. Batman vs Superman at number 3. Dawn of Justice, 836 million.
Huge deal. Very divisive. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that movie, man.
I'm iffy about it.
Yeah.
It's good to be all over the board, I guess.
Yeah.
That is definitely my least favorite Batman piece of content ever made.
Although I heard the director's cut.
Have you ever read The Dark Knight
Returns?
Have you read graphic novels?
No, I haven't.
Because there's a fight that's very similar to what they tried to do in that movie. So when it happened, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to do it.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Did they scream Martha in the comic?
No, dude. That was just fucking dumb.
Yeah. Despite all of his faults, Zack Snyder's vision was a feast for the eyes, with outstanding visuals and insane action sequences ripped straight out of the comics. Okay, yeah, took it right out of the comics. Affleck's turn as Batman may have been a bit more violent than normal, but it was a welcome return to the less grounded version of the Dark Knight.
Yeah, they just screwed up by putting it in. I mean, introduce him in this movie with another. It's just weird way to do it.
Yeah. Number 2, we had the Dark Knight with 1.06 billion.
What are these numbers like?
I think lifetime box office sales.
Yeah,
lifetime
box office.
The whole time is in box office. Okay.
Yeah. What do you guys think number 1 is though? That's number 2.
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Justice League. Oh,
yeah. Dark Knight Rises.
Rises.
Dark Knight
Sorry,
Rises,
that's what I meant.
1.08 billion. Wow.
Yeah, because it was after Dark Knight. Dark Knight had huge success, and everybody was really amped for the sequel to that one. It just didn't exactly hit the same mark.
Yeah, they came out with this relatively fast too, right? They had it like already in the works or something. Because I don't remember there being much of a gap between those. So this was published in 2022. So every movie in the franchise ranked by box office gross. So yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about adjusting for inflation, so I'm guessing that they didn't.
They didn't. So that first Batman that you were talking about that was 1 billion. It pretty much did as good as these last ones right here.
Yeah.
You guys really sleeping on the Dark Knight?
Pretty bankable,
Heath Ledger's Joker is fucking fantastic.
Oh, that's incredible.
It is fantastic. It's one of the best acting performances in a superhero movie of all time, I think. I do really like that movie. No, it's just for me personally, I like a little bit of humor in my superheroes, and that they take that whole trilogy very, very seriously.
I couldn't get over, and maybe that's what it was, is the seriousness, right? And then Christian Bale
a little bit of humor.
Christian Bale was playing that role, I couldn't get
about
in
a magic trick. It's gone.
Yeah, it's funny. Joker humor is not like the rest of the world's humor.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you mean. Never start with the head.
Speaking of Batman movies, though, one of my favorites, and it doesn't have anything to do with Batman, is Joker, the movie Joker. Like that was
a good fucking movie, dude.
That was a fucking fantastic movie.
That's a great movie.
That one, the pacing was perfect. Everything, the storytelling, the acting. I would watch that over The Dark Knight. Honestly, I'd watch Joker over The Dark Knight.
One got really over. People loved that movie. People were saying, I didn't see it.
If I'm gonna choose serious movies, like if I want a serious movie, or like that out of the Batman series, like that would be it. Like from those comic books, who directed that movie? They just did a perfect job with it. Dude, you should watch that movie. It's so good. It has you watching the whole time. You're just like, what the fuck is gonna happen?
Yep.
Like they actually made the Joker like, I actually don't know what's gonna happen. I guess The Dark Knight was that too, like that also, but for some reason it felt more so in that movie. You're just like, you could follow along, but you also didn't know what was. You're just at the edge of your seat. That would be like a thriller almost. It was just a great movie.
The origin. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
The Joker that never had like an actual origin in the comics. Like there's storylines now telling who he is, where he came from and stuff, but originally there was never an origin fleshed out. He was just like this enigma, this character who nobody knew where the fuck he came from. He's just a dude that showed up and was fucking crazy. And so there wasn't any background. There wasn't any like, oh, this is what happened. He's a former comedian or whatever. Like is one of the lines that a guy wrote later that has into a storyline is that he's a failed comedian. And but there was never like any official
origin story.
Yeah, never an official origin story for the Joker. The people that created him never like fleshed it out. There's an old movie called A Man Who Laughs, and they thought the character looked cool, and it'd be crazy if there's a criminal who was just always smiling, and
And
they
were right. They were right. It's a great character.
Yeah, it's iconic, man. It's the most known villain ever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat when they do origins for in a movie. It's just like, okay, I mean that's a take on it. Even in the comics, they've made it canon to where they went hard into the multiverse and all the different styles of Joker that's been in comics. They made them all like official. They're just different. It's a part of a multiverse. Like there's been different Jokers through different times and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what they did with Pennywise in It. Actually, when I think about it. But yeah, it's interesting.
All right, guys. Wrap it up.
Okie dokie.
Went down the rabbit hole of comic books.
Boys.
I know.
Talk about Batman anytime, boys.
Can I just reiterate, especially you, Ryan, since you seem to be a very big Batman fan in general?
Yeah.
Watch the Harley Quinn series, the animated series.
Okay.
It's on Max.
I need to. I've heard about it.
Excellent. And the I think as much as it's a comedy show, it's mostly a comedy show. Super adult oriented, rated R. But it is, in my opinion, the best iteration of Bruce Wayne that they've ever done throughout any Batman content ever made. Not necessarily Batman, but Bruce Wayne himself, like the character Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So good in this show. Like they go into his backstory a lot about how his parents got killed and like the stuff that he's thinking about. They go into his mind for a little while so you could like really read into him and stuff. It's so worth watching and it's hilarious.
That's a really good point. What do you guys think is the best Bruce Wayne, actually?
I just answered.
Hey, you just answered, yeah.
I'm telling you, they don't really give Bruce Wayne a lot of love in like any iteration.
I know.
Of Batman.
Keaton was awesome.
That's what I was about to say too.
He's probably the best.
Mine's Keaton.
Yeah,
he was probably the best.
Part of what makes that movie so good is his portrayal of Bruce Wayne.
Because he's Bruce Wayne for more of the movie than he is Batman.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the only movies where that actually is the case. He's got a personality as Bruce Wayne, while most other Bruce Waynes are like this stand-in, like just kind of empty hole of a rich guy that is Batman on the side.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna go with the one from the animated series. His name like Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
He's really good too.
Oh, his voice, man.
Dude,
hearing his voice and hearing it go across the animated series and the games, it made me. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill was in the games too, right? Like, fucking
Joker.
They got both Batman and Joker brought him into the games, and they're just both amazing in them.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely worth watching, playing the games too. And I'm not even that big of a Batman fan in general, I'll be honest. Like, I'm much more a Marvel guy than Batman guy. But man, so like those games, I think that's some of the best voice acting I've ever heard in a video game before. And like I said, the Harley Quinn animated series. Diedrich Bader does Batman and Bruce Wayne, and Diedrich Bader from the Drew Carey show.
Really, which guy? Oh,
he's like best friend that's not Ryan Stiles.
He's in Office Space, right?
Is
that the guy?
So no, it's
Oswald.
Is he in Office Space? His name is Oswald in Drew Carey's show. Yeah. He's in
I know who you're
Beverly
talking about.
Hillbillies, Napoleon Dynamite, Miss Congeniality.
I know who you're talking about.
He voiced Batman, the animated Brave and the Bold series. I think he voiced Batman
cool.
in that.
Yeah, he does a really good job, man. He's a perfect Batman voice in my opinion.
He's got a very distinct voice.
Yeah, and Alan Tudyk does Joker and Clayface.
Are you kidding?
He's
love him,
perfect. He's one of the best Joker voices. Mark Hamill aside, Heath Ledger aside, this is next for me. Alan Tudyk is fantastic at Joker.
Damn,
he's so good.
No, what? Oh, you haven't seen Joker, have you? Joaquin Phoenix.
No, I haven't seen so I can't speak on that one yet.
Yeah,
I was turned off by. I'll be honest. The hype train turned me off from that movie because of all the fucking 14-year-old boys with Punisher avatars as their profiles, talking about how much they relate to Joker and his need to murder everybody. And I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm not whatever.
Yeah, it is an interesting. They do take a. It's a very, very, very good movie. I haven't seen. I know there's a lot of shit taken from a movie called The King of Comedy, which I haven't watched that to get all the references, but.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good one, and it's fun, guys. See you all Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Ciao.
Nice chat.
See you, everyone.